Mofa King dominated the PSL Awards last night, named Footballer of the Season in one of 3 awards. And Team South Africa adds 2 more Commonwealth Games medals, 1 silver and 1 bronze from the swimming pool.
A fine day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg starting at 6 degrees, peaking at 19. Pretoria 5 and 22, Vereeniging 4 and 20 degrees. The top story in EW and the SAWA. Crime Intelligence Officer Dineo Mukweli's lawyers say they are disappointed that the NPA has only directed for fraud and corruption charges against her to be provisionally withdrawn.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 6 o'clock, it's Tuesday, the 28th of July, the year of our Lord 2026. Welcome to the program. On our menu today, almost 700,000 Rand spent on hotel accommodation for a spokesperson for the Department of Social Development. She lived, you might argue, in the lap of luxury for several months. She'd been seconded from a different province, was in an acting capacity, so she couldn't quite leave where she was from without knowing she had the job. But why this official? Were there no others? A department that's meant to look after the most vulnerable. What, have we suddenly run out of children at risk, homeless and hungry? Have we suddenly run out of victims of gender-based violence who need social support? That this is the kind of largesse we would dispense? In Zimbabwe, farmers are being accused of pumping poultry and pork full of medicines meant for human beings. Is this a health disaster waiting to explode?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 6 o'clock, our first interview looking at the Department of Social Development, once again in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. How do you spend nearly 700,000 Rand over a 7-8 month period in a hotel for one official? If you are the department that is meant to be looking after the most vulnerable in this country, the needs are many and they are not being met. They cannot possibly be met. There are just too many people who need help. And this is the kind of money we are spending on hotel accommodation. Make it make sense. I'm in the studio with 2 of my colleagues, my esteemed partners in crime, partners in rhyme. Okay, and I'll stop with the dad jokes. Muteo Kharipe and Amuramila, a very good morning to you too.
Morning, Bong.
Morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 Landers.
Here's a question for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been served a meal and it either looked some type of way or it smelled some type of way and you thought, what is in this? Have you ever refused or dodged your way out of a meal because you weren't certain what was in it and you didn't want to take the chance? But the situation was sensitive or delicate. Say these are your in-laws. Maybe you're meeting them for the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the side of the family that has always believed you there in Johannesburg think you are all that in a bag of chips. And at times, you know, people have sacrificed, are giving you the very best they can offer you. This is a meal of devotion, of care, of consideration. You can't just wrinkle your nose and say, no, thank you, I don't eat that. Have you just chewed as quickly as you can and swallowed. Have you been in that situation where you thought, I do not know what is in this, and yay, just from the smell? Do you ask? Do you say, ooh, do you want to know?
Politely.
Do you want to know what's in the gumbo? Muteo?
It's happened numerous times, man. I remember when I was younger, my friend's grandmother served us. It was a put with seasoned oil, if I can put it that way. So there was no gravy and whatever. And because it was a culture shock with me, I was still waiting for whatever goes with the put, But that was the meal. That's all they had, right? But it turned out to be very delicious. But I was very skeptical in the beginning. I'm like, okay, where's the rest of it? Because, but that's all they had. Another moment was in Georgia. They served us dumplings that smelled like ulusu. I don't know how to explain, like tripe.
Tripe, yeah.
But like
Offal.
it was a pungent smell. Like it, and this is at a restaurant, I'm just like, okay, just for trying new things, I'll do it this once. But it was tough. I was sweating.
And what was the taste?
It wasn't great.
It was exactly as it smelled.
It's one thing you have once, and I never had it again.
So if you ever go to the country, Georgia,
Yes.
not the state in the US, the country,
Yes.
formerly part of the USSR. Amo?
I don't explore much with food. I really don't. And if I do get served something that I'm not used to, I usually lean onto something that looks more comforting. So if I were to be served, I remember this one time at my friend's place. Actually, we're neighbors. They served us pap and what you call mala mochod.
Yeah, tripe.
Tripe, yeah, right. And I had seen how it was prepared, so I wasn't comfortable because I saw how it was prepared. It was just like I can't, right? But the pap was more comforting, so I was able to eat that.
I mean, I remember in my missionary days as a much younger person, I was with, call him a colleague, an American who had never seen any of these things before. So he'd never seen pap before. And we had gone to this really rural community, and we were served pap with gravy and chicken heads. And before I could say, Bob's your uncle, as the host went to get, I don't know, water or drinks or whatever, he quickly put the meat on his plate and he just dumped it on mine. And he looked the other way. And then in came this lady, and you could see these people had really opened their hearts. They didn't really have very much. And the eyes were looking at you.
And you don't like chicken heads.
I had never eaten it before. And I can tell you, without any fear of contradiction, nor since.
But you stomached it that day.
Yo! Yo! And it had the little crown, the head.
That's the best part.
Ah!
That's the best part.
Yo! I had never eaten it before. And yeah,
You hear?
I survived.
Yeah.
For me, it was chewy, it was rubbery, and it was one of those chew, swallow, chew,
I would
swallow,
have been so happy
chew,
if somebody
swallow.
just dumped that on my plate.
Anyway, have you been in that situation? You were served something, and it's not in a restaurant setup where you can ask for something else, but somebody presents a delicacy. You know that this means something to them that's more than just the food itself, right? And for reasons of decorum, for reasons of propriety, for reasons of just being a decent human being, you have to swallow it. How did you react? Let us know.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
We're keeping an eye, it's 6:15. We're keeping an eye on what is unfolding from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And yesterday, yet more questions against the now former head of IDAC. This is Advocate Andrea Johnson, who once again faced some really, really tough questions about some of the decisions that were made at IDAC under her tenure. And she found it really, really difficult to explain some of the decisions that she oversaw and that were taken by the teams that she led. I want to take you to this moment where one of the commissioners, Advocate Sesi Baloyi, questions Andrea Johnson on whether some of the allegations that were used against the crime intelligence boss, Lieutenant General Dumisano Khumalo, were even IDAC's business to begin with.
So he potentially faces an arrest for something that may not fall within the mandate of IDAC, given this last discussion that you and I had.
I cannot say that not having full sight of all the evidence, given that the allegations against General Madondo in that matter relate pertinently, from my recollection, to her having committed fraud, having misrepresented her position, and that he then knowingly accepted that fraud and then perpetuated the process further. That's why vetting.
Yeah, that's why I limited my question to our vetting discussion, that insofar as that a charge that he's facing may relate to vetting, one of the charges, if there's more than one, may relate to vetting, that potentially may be a charge which doesn't fall within the mandate of IDAC, given what we have discussed.
Yes, it would only be the fraud relating to the alleged fraudulent documents, remarks, etc., that would have been made by General Madondo.
She then gets asked the question that, hang on, if you are saying some people committed particular offenses and you've charged them or are investigating them, how is it that you're able to sit there and say, so did others, but they weren't charged and they weren't investigated?
I take it Mr. Adams is also being charged. What's good for the goose must be good for the gander. If General Madondo not having that clearance certificate poses a risk to CI, the subs, and the country, I dare say so too is Mr. Adams. You agreed that he doesn't have you're not aware of him having a top secret clearance certificate, and yet he is handling documents seemingly that come from crime intelligence and for which he doesn't have lawful access or authorized access. Once again, we are in that logical terrain where I say if we accept that General Madondo has committed a crime and poses the risk that is articulated at paragraph 3, so equally too must Mr. Adams. Logic would dictate for me, unless I'm persuaded otherwise.
No, logic dictates correctly.
Yeah, correct. So we can expect IDAC to act at least on their very whistleblower on this part.
I speak under correction.
Absolutely.
But he is arrested, I think, amongst others, for this contravention.
By IDAC?
Not by IDAC.
Not by IDAC. How much more can we learn about Andrea Johnson? Goodness me.
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
19 after 6, Mateo, you've got a question of your own?
Very simple this morning, Bongani. What data and airtime plan are you on, and how much do you spend on it? Do you keep track on just how much data you use, how much airtime you buy?
Not necessarily, because in almost all the places I go, there's Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi at home, there's Wi-Fi at work. So insofar as my actual, device data, and it's not
so the spend is on Wi-Fi at home,
yeah,
and that's enough. So
yeah,
you don't
I
do
don't
traditional
generally,
calls?
No.
Just WhatsApp calls?
No. Don't call me and I won't call you.
I must be very stubborn.
I do spend quite a bit on data. I use prepaid, so that means I buy data quite frequently for, different things. Like maybe I need data to Uber back home, or
and how many times do you have to top up a month?
I'd say maybe 3 times. Yeah, maybe 3 times.
No, that's a fair amount, because I'm also on prepaid, and at least twice a month you'll top up. And if your data runs out and you have airtime, and then that airtime was converted into data, so I want to know how much you're spending on that a month.
All right, how much are you spending on data and airtime? How much are you spending on communicating every month? I'm curious about what prompts the question.
7:02.
Weather.
20 after 6, a fine day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures a little lower than we've seen earlier in the week. Joburg peaking at 19 degrees. 20 is your high in Vereeniging. It'll be 22 in Pretoria. Fine day in Cape Town, maxing at 19 degrees. Durban's peak is 21 and Kimberley 23.
EWN Traffic.
21 after 6, let's look at the roads. Already busy, Amu?
Very much so, Bongani. We've got delays on the R559. That's in Protea Glen. An accident reported there just before the R558, causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic on the N12 West in Eldorado Park. That's due to another accident scene. It's causing delays between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway. Speaking of which, roadworks are still causing delays on this route between Union Avenue and East Street. Do expect about a 15-minute hold up there. And then in the city of Tshwane, we've got delays on the R80 East just as you approach Eskiam Pahlele exit. We'll have more updates, but if you come across anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. Did you know the total number of Powerball winners in June are 4,001,000? Listen carefully. 4,152,822, and the total prize money won is over 530 million rand. So play Powerball and catch live draws on Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
What is your business here?
You didn't start your business to play it safe. You took the leap, made the bold move, and now it's time to make the next one. This week, 702 and Budget Business Insurance are giving small businesses the chance to win their share of 100,000 Rand with the Budget BizBucks Bonanza. Enter on primemediaplus.com. Tell us about the boldest move you've ever made in your business and what your next one will be. Then get an obligation-free Budget Business Insurance quote. 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa could call you. Budget Insurance is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Bongani and the team. That's my favorite. Chicken heads with eyes, the tongue, the crown. My wife, she's looking at me like I'm talking a foreign language, not from this earth. But I enjoy it so much. And she's not buying it because she don't like the head like you, Bongani. It's a punishment.
It's the eyes for me. It's the eyes, because we all lie to ourselves about the meat we consume. And I'm admitting here, let's be clear, I'm a full hypocrite on this. We all lie to ourselves about the meat we consume. But when the eyes are looking at you, you can't tell yourself any lies about it. And it's all about what you've been exposed to, right? And this is why you can't be dismissive of what people consider delicacies. You've got to, decorum dictates that you be polite and you tough it out. Have you been in that situation where you had to tough it out just from the smell as you enter? And do you ask, what's in it?
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
If you're watching our YouTube stream, you will see the looks of judgment from Muteo Haripe and Amora Mila. But Asikalapo, things you need to know at this hour. Parents, it's that time of the year again. Prep your documents and have them ready. The Gauteng Department of Education will open online admissions for grade 1 and grade 8 learners for 2027 on the 5th of August. Applications will close on the 29th of August 2027. Ever been proven right after everyone else doubted you? How did it feel? And does vindication for you come when the other person finally sees that you were right all along? Or do you need them to acknowledge it? Muteo? Do you need them to say, yes, Muteo, you were right? Or is it the fact that you know, they know,
and
enough?
we all know that I'm right.
And we all know. So you don't.
I'm happy with that.
So do you go and tell others?
No.
Do you go and say, even if they don't acknowledge it, do you go and say,
I'd rather you tell the
Remember
story.
that
I think
story?
it's more painful.
Well, the NPA provisionally withdrawing the fraud and corruption case against Crime Intelligence Head Lieutenant General Dumisano Khumalo, Brigadier Dineo Mukwele, and their co-accused. Investigations, of course, continue, meaning the charges could still be reinstated. But Khumalo's legal team argues there is no evidence of fraud in Mukwele's appointment and pointed to concessions made at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, including, of course, Andrea Johnson's apology. Do you know someone who always acts morally superior but really admits they're wrong? A UK cyclist who submitted helmet camera footage to report a driver doing something wrong ended up being fined himself after the video showed him riding without due care and attention. More on that story from Adam Gilchrist a little later. Chinese scientists in Tibet are cloning yaks to create healthier, more fertile animals and potentially help conserve endangered wild yak populations. Researchers aim to build a herd of more than 100 cloned elite yaks by 2028, but the project has sparked some ethical concerns. And on this day in 1992, Mary J. Blige released her debut album, What's the 411? It featured the hits You Remind Me, Sweet Thing, and Real Love. If you're still sleeping, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you.
702.
The newspapers.
That's a hit from grade 11. I was in standard 9.
was in grade 2.
What's in the papers?
Bongani, good morning. A Japanese town is caught in a heated debate over the construction of a mosque. So this is a town called Fujisawa, just south of Tokyo. There have been protests with thousands of residents objecting to the planned construction of the mosque. So what they're saying is that they find it disrespectful, and others are just simply admitting that they fear what they don't understand. So Japan's Muslim population is increasing, right? Since 2019, different people who believe in the Muslim religion are settling in different parts of Japan, but residents there are saying that in that particular town that we are very apprehensive about the construction of this mosque. But there's just online debate and protest ongoing.
The front page of the Business Day has flowers and rainbow flags at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin yesterday following that attack Adam Gilchrist told us about. During a Pride March, a woman was killed and 29 people were injured, and the suspect was shot dead by police. The front page of the Sowetan has Andrea Johnson with her hands on her face, and the headline says everything you need to say, doesn't it? Shameful.
EWN.
Mateo wants to know our comms spend every month, be it data, be it airtime. What's the plan? And do we keep up with how often we have to top up? What prompts the question?
Bongani, the Portfolio Committee on Communications and Digital Technologies paid a small visit to MTN's headquarters as part of its ongoing program of engagement with key stakeholders in the communications and digital technologies sector. But the main issue around the visit was to inquire about the reservations mobile network providers seem to have in implementing ICASA's amended end user and subscriber service charter. Now, MTN and Vodacom have launched legal challenges against the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa over the new consumer regulations. Now, the operators are fighting rules regarding automatic data rollover, out-of-bundle consent and bundle transfers. In January this year, ICASA published rules that are scheduled to start in January of 2027. The regulator wants unused data, airtime and SMS bundles to roll over automatically for free at least once. Currently, these plans do expire. Out-of-band usage requires a direct opt-in from customers. So if you run out of data, your user or the company you subscribe to is not allowed to use your airtime as data. Leftover data can be sent to other users. Imagine if you can transfer data to a friend who's on the same network. So both networks are saying, no, we don't want to do that. It's going to raise prices. It's also going to mean there's no competition in the market. So both MTN and Vodacom are taking ICASA to court for these
Sounds like it would be
regulations.
music to one little daughter of mine's ears. I can tell you that for free. Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour still looking good this morning. 16 Rand 79 against the US dollar, 19 Rand 10 cents against the euro, 22 Rand 33 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is down more than 0.5% at $4,044 an ounce, while platinum is down 1% at $1,605. Brent crude down 4% at $84 a barrel. More business after 7.
This Eyewitness News is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Let's start in the mother cities, Fiso.
Well, Bongani, good morning. Policing has been bolstered in some parts of Cape Town where gun violence claimed at least 15 lives. This includes Kayamnandi settlement in Stellenbosch, where 4 people were shot dead and 4 others, including 2 police officers, were wounded over the weekend. Deadly gun attacks were also reported in Khayelitsha, Gugulethu and Menenberg all the way through to yesterday. The police's Andre Trout says detectives from the Provincial Serious and Violent Crime Unit are leading investigations.
A 9mm firearm was recovered and will undergo forensic examination. Anyone with information that could assist the investigation is urged to contact Crime Stop on 08600 10111.
The Gauteng Education Department has announced 2027 online applications for grades 1 and 8 will open on the 15th of August for a month. The department says parents of grade R learners must apply online for grade 1. Education MEC Lebogang Maile says the online admission system helps with planning for teachers, classrooms, learner transport, school nutrition, infrastructure and other related budgets.
The integrity, accuracy and timelines of every application therefore determine how effectively government responds to the growing demand for quality public education.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has once again warned that South Africa won't tolerate any intimidation and vigilantism targeting foreign nationals. Ramaphosa says while acts of intimidation won't be accepted, the country's immigration laws must be respected by those seeking asylum. He says unmanaged migration has the potential to undermine the sovereignty and social order of countries, including South Africa. Ramaphosa was addressing the opening of the first ordinary session of the 7th Pan-African Parliament in Johannesburg yesterday.
As the South African government, I want to make it clear, we have taken a firm stance against any form of intimidation, vigilantism, or violence directed at people from other countries or other nations. We've taken a firm stand against hatred for people from other countries.
And Chad is the latest country to announce plans to withdraw from the International Criminal Court. It says the tribunal's effectiveness is limited and uneven and its activities are focused on Africa. The move follows pressure from the US, which earlier this month announced a campaign against the ICC, threatening more sanctions and accusing it of posing an intolerable threat to US sovereignty. This month, Venezuela and the military juntas in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger also started the process of leaving the ICC based in The Hague, which prosecutes individuals for war crimes and crimes against humanity. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 4 and 5 degrees, peaking at highs between 19 and 22.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 East in the Eldorado Park area. That's due to an accident right near the Golden Highway. It's causing about a 20-minute hold up there. There's also queuing traffic leaving Benoni on the N12 West, just as you approach Atlas Road. An accident reported there after Snake Road, also causing delays.
The top story this hour, policing has been bolstered in some parts of Cape Town, where gun violence has claimed at least 15 lives.
The electricity price increases may have dropped a bombshell on your budget. But switch to OUTsurance and you could drop your car insurance premium. You could save big, like 40-year-old Sylvia, who saves a mind-blowing 802 Rand a month on her 2019 BMW X1. Why pay more when you could pay so much less and save? Get a quote and switch to OUTsurance today. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
In the 1960s, Douglas Engelbart had a thought. What if you could jump from one idea to another with just a click? That question led him to pioneer how hypertext would work. And this laid the foundation of how we navigate the internet today. See, whether you're reinventing the future or building something new, you need the right foundations to start. At Ex-Nilo, we give you the right foundation to host your big idea. Ex-Nilo, trusted in hosting.
That's Liesel, before she got naked. Liesel checked her insurance premium and got angrier than the time a teenager called her Tani. So Liesel got naked and got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds, all on the Naked app. There we go, Liesel. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. Morning to the team. Morning, Mateo. Oh, I totally agree with Mateo. The chicken head crown. That's the most delicious part. Oh, my goodness. And then after that, you just crack the scalp. Then you eat the brain. Oh, delicious, delicious, delicious. Morning, guys.
Morning, Bongani and team. Recently, I was invited to a braai. So being vegetarian, a friend of mine who is from Zambia decided to make okra for me and serve it. I looked at the slimy thing. I thought, how am I going to eat it? I think I had 1 spoon. And then I said to her, I am sorry, this cannot go down my throat. I was like, I am so sorry. This one, I cannot eat it, unfortunately.
Morning, Bongani and team. So many years ago, my mom and I went to a wedding in Motu, which is in KZN, rural KZN, Motu, and it was a wedding, and we were served cow udder. So ibele lenkomo. Oh my goodness, it is very there's just fat. There's just fat. So it was so tough for us. Fortunately, they brought in then uputu and some other vegetable sides like a beetroot and like a 3-bean salad nyana. And I had that. I just kept on, moving around my fingers, around the uputu and the veggies and just dabbing a bit of that fat. But no, I couldn't. I'm very adventurous when it comes to food, but I just couldn't bring myself to eating a pile of fat. No, I'm sorry.
Many years ago, I was visiting Italians in Italy. I had an Italian boyfriend. We were visiting his family, and they made a special meal for the South African coming to visit, and it was horse meat. And I used to do a lot of horse riding, and I would have offended them if I hadn't eaten it. So I got through the meal and I said to myself, chew, chew, swallow, chew, chew, swallow. A horse is the same as a cow. But what happened was it kind of backfired, because after the meal, the next time I tried to eat a burger, I kept saying to myself, the horse is the same as a cow. And it was that meal that prompted me to become a vegetarian.
Right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you being in a restaurant and having the option to send it back. This is a delicacy for the people that are serving it to you. You don't want to offend them. Maybe you're meeting your in-laws for the very first time, exactly as this last WhatsApp voice note has just suggested. Is there a food you look at it, or from the time you entered the house, the smell, and you just think to yourself, yummo, I don't want to have this? Have you been in that situation?
Good morning, Bongani and team. Bongani, there's no way on earth that I'm going to ingest a chicken head just to appease you. I will politely decline, but there is no way I'm popping eyes in my mouth just so that you're indulged. Thank you. Have a nice day. Kiamo from Pretoria.
EWN my first annual. Cindy was talking about the first time and the only time I've ever eaten chicken heads.
Oh.
And I said, we lie to ourselves about the meat we consume, but when the eyes are staring at you, there's nowhere to go.
And the neck?
Yo.
Do you do the neck?
No, the neck is fine. The neck is fine.
But
the neck
the
is fine.
eyes.
It's the head with the crown, which apparently is the most tender and delicate part
I don't want to
of the
find
chicken head.
So
People say it's yum, yum, yum.
So as a child, you'll eat anything. Well, we ate anything that was presented. Not the children
You
of
get
today.
what you get,
Back
and you
in my
don't
day,
complain.
children used to eat everything, and my dad used to eat everything: the feet, the necks, all of it. So I used to love chicken neck growing up, and then also very big Portuguese delicatessen is the tongue of the cow.
Yes,
ox tongue,
yes.
and that you pickle with green pepper.
Lovely.
And until the one day I saw my mom preparing the tongue. And there was this tongue on the chopping board. And I just went, oh, that's tongue. Like tongue. Like it never occurred to me that because it's in Portuguese, and I stand to be corrected if the Portuguese listeners are going to correct me, but it's called língua, which is the tongue, or lingua. And so it never occurred to me that that was tongue.
As in tongue.
And then I was like, I can push through. And then I just imagined the taste buds the one day when I was eating it rubbing against mine, and I was like, okay, I'm out.
Done.
And
Done.
that was it. And so now I just stick to, and I don't even like chicken with the bone anymore. Now I'm just like straight up chicken breast.
And that's that.
Yeah, I don't like chicken on the bone at all.
I wonder if Banyana had some tongue yesterday.
I watched this yesterday, and I actually thought that there were parts that they were really, really good. So if you missed it last night, let's give you the score up front before we discuss the game. Banyana losing to Tanzania 2-1 in their opening WAFCON match. And I actually found they had a lot of shots on target that just did not go in. But then there were also times when they were absolutely abysmal. I watched one backward pass that almost went into our goal. It was silly stuff like that. So I still have faith. I still have faith in this team. I still think we're going to do well. It was just maybe nerves or something like that. Maybe, sometimes when you're a really good team and you play against a team that's not so good, you sometimes lower your standard without even realizing. So let's hope that Desiree Ellis can get them back up. But Tanzania scored against the run of play in the 38th minute, so they were ahead first. And then Banyana equalized on the stroke of halftime. The ball came from a corner. Tanzania's keeper parried the ball for Mbane to header it in. Banyana had many chances on target. And then 3 minutes from the final whistle, Ubamba sealed the win for Tanzania. Banyana next play Ivory Coast on Friday night. Ivory Coast last night beating Burkina Faso 4-1. Orlando Pirates, of course, dominating the PSL Awards last night. Relebogile Mofokeng winning 3 awards: Best Footballer, Players Player, and Young Player of the Season. Well, Abdeslam Wadu was named Coach of the Season. Sipho Chano was Best Goalkeeper. Lebone Sima Best Defender. And Oswin Apollos was Best Midfielder. Team South Africa now has 11 medals at the Commonwealth Games. Last night in the pool, bronze for Aaron Gallagher in the 100-meter butterfly and silver for Michael Hooley in the 50-meter breaststroke. Hooley led until the last 10 meters and was beaten by 0.017 seconds.
I'm a bit annoyed, but at the end of the day, got to be grateful, and it's just one race. So, factually, I've been faster, and I know the level that I can produce. I can't really remember the race in detail, still vague in my memory right now, but I'll take a look at it, and get the feedback and just move forward.
South Africa still 6th overall, 3 gold, 3 silver, 5 bronze. Tonight, Olivia Null swims in the 50-metre backstroke final. We've also got a team in the mixed 100-metre medley relay final. On the athletics track tonight, the men's 100-metre semi-final at 8 o'clock. South Africa represented in the semi-final 1 by Cheswell Johnson, semi-final 2 Bradley Nkwana, semi-final 3 Gift Leotlela. The final will then be at about 14 past 10 tonight. This afternoon in netball, Spar Proteas play their third group game. They're playing Northern Ireland. That starts at 10 to 3. And abroad in Test cricket, stumps on day 3 with the West Indies 126 for 7 in their second innings, a lead of 155 over Pakistan. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Hi, this is Alia Itzebet, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counselling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Looking to save money on your business insurance? Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Niku from the Gas Mart.
I was my previous insurer for 9 years before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with my premiums at the moment. I wish we switched sooner to Outsurance Business Insurance.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
This is what progress sounds like. At South African Airways, we've added more aircraft to the runway, increased our flights from just over 1,000 in 2021 to over 24,000 last year. And we continue to add more destinations and routes. It's steady progress over time. We know there's still work to do, but every day we're building something stronger. An airline that shares the resilience of the country it carries. South African Airways. Book your next flight at flysaa.com today.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Hi, my name's Karabo Matumunyani. I'm 13 years old and I go to Kira Waterfall. When I grow up, I want to be a medical researcher and I'm excited to play the Whiz Quiz with Bongani.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
We really want to thank everybody who took part in this year's 702 Josie, My Josie Walk the Talk. And this year, of course, the Sunday Times partnered with The Walk. So look out for all the coverage of Walk the Talk in Times Live and in the Sunday Times this Sunday. And remember, all of you who entered the Walk the Talk have a 3-month digital subscription to the Sunday Times for free. Thank you for walking with the people, for the people on the 702 Josie, My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. Did you know the total number of Powerball winners in June are 4,001,000? Listen carefully. 4,152,822, and the total prize money won is over 530 million rand. So play Powerball and catch live draws on Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You send us an answer based on something you heard in the show that piqued your interest. And for that, you'll win 1,000 Rand. You WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else asks a question to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. What's happening on the N12 West, Amo?
Bongani, there's an accident in Benoni right near Tom Jones Street. It's causing delays coming out of Snake Road. So if you are leaving Benoni right now, please do expect about a 20-minute hold-up or use alternative routes like the N17 through Boksburg. Then if you're traveling in El Dorado Park, the south of Joburg, we've got another accident reported on the N12 East near the Golden Highway causing delays. Please approach with care. We'll have more updates coming up, to stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever excuses for being late, number 95. I had load shedding and couldn't charge my phone, so I didn't have an alarm. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
Some parcels are more than parcels. They're gifts, opportunities, supplies, and moments people are counting on. That's why CourierIt makes it easy to book, send, and track your parcel online, moving it from your door to anywhere nationwide. And with 2,700 pickup points, sending has never been more convenient. With real-time visibility, reliable delivery, and people who care, we help you deliver what matters. Move it with CourierIt, because your parcel deserves more. Sign up on courierit.co.za.
Dad, how come Mom's not coming to my soccer game?
Well, Mom isn't allowed to come to your soccer games anymore.
Is it because she tried to tackle Coach KB for giving me a red card?
Maybe.
Humans who fiercely protect the people they love. Welcome. Search Liberty Protect to protect your life and legacy today. Liberty. In it with you. All of you. Liberty Group Limited, a licensed life insurer, an authorized FSP, and part of the Standard Bank Group. T's and C's, risks and limitations apply.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Right, up next, we speak to the chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Social Development. But in the meantime, Karabo, 13 years old, wants to play the Whiz Quiz. Karabo, let's get straight into it. KG, start the clock. Which word is an adjective? Happy or drive?
Happy.
Correct. Complete the saying, the early what catches the worm?
The early bird.
Correct. In which month is South Africa's shortest day? Is it in June or December?
June.
Correct. True or false? North Korea is a country in Asia.
True.
Correct. How many toes does an ostrich have on each foot? Is it 4 or 2?
2.
Correct. For which country does Kylian Mbappe play football?
France.
Correct. Complete the movie title, Raya and the Last what?
The Last Dragon.
Correct. What is 25 minus 15?
10.
Correct. On which continent does the Zambezi River run?
South Africa.
Africa is the continent. Spell the word anxiety.
ANXIETY.
That is correct. It's just that last one that got you. On which continent was the question? On which continent was the question? Karabo, really well done. Really, really well done. Don't give yourself too much of a hard time. You got 900 Rand. 9 correct answers. It was just that one question that perhaps you didn't quite hear so clearly. But nonetheless, you've done well. You ought to be proud.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On to this now. From childcare and protection services to the elderly, people with disabilities, even substance abuse treatment and prevention, to victims of gender-based violence and poverty alleviation, food security. On paper, it's the most vulnerable people in our society that the Department of Social Development ought to be looking after. Instead, the department is often in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. And with so many competing needs unmet, how does it justify spending nearly 700,000 Rand on hotel accommodation for a spokesperson? She argues it was her due because she was being relocated from another province. But with so many glaring needs, is this justified? Bridget Masango joins us, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee in Parliament looking at social development. They keep the department basically on its toes. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time. Another week, another controversy at the Department of Social Development.
Good morning, Bongani and your listeners. I couldn't have put it better myself, and that is concerning. I'm just smiling because I can't believe this is where we are again.
And surely this is scandalous. I mean, do you buy the explanation, for example, from the official that, well, hang on, she was being seconded from KZN to Gauteng. In other words, she was moving provinces. She was in this position for all those months when she was in that hotel because she was still in an acting capacity, and that policy allows it.
Bongani, this for me is just unfortunate, and I have a sense, and I don't have any policy backup to this, but I have a sense that it could have been avoided, which is why, because if you look at the acting timelines in government, they differ from one position to another or from one position level to another, and I can't quite place this one, which is why I even said yesterday to your producer that I have to ask that the committee secretary puts this item with all the approvals that have to happen in Parliament for the minister, the new minister that we will be meeting for the first time since her appointment, to explain to us how did we get here, because I need to face the public through yourselves, the media, with the facts, with the policy provisions, and so on and so forth. Because I, like you have just said, cannot justify 670,000 rand for an acting position in a department that should have had different plans for this issue.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
My thought is, have we run out of gender-based violence victims, children at risk, the homeless and the hungry? Have you asked specific questions? I mean, for example, do you know the particular hotel in question?
I actually know about it. I have not stayed there, unfortunately.
800,000. I mean, it's 700,000 rand almost. It's 670 if I'm being exact.
Yes.
So what?
Yes.
If you divvy that up over 7 months, we're looking at around 80,000 rand a month.
Yeah. What you're saying in your intro, Bongani, it makes very, very clear and disturbing. News, in fact, because, like you say, this is a department that looks after the most vulnerable. And I receive, obviously, I should speak because I and my colleagues receive these queries on a daily basis. There's not a day that goes by without an older person saying to me that I went through the entire process of the verifications that were given by the National Treasury, and I still don't have my grant 4 months later. So there needs to be a clear information that comes out of the minister's office, of the department, or the DG's office that says, here is the decisions that were made, and this is why these very decisions were made that some of us don't understand.
Yeah, because even if you say this job could only be done by this particular official, then what you do is you hire the person and you relocate them when they're already in a permanent role, rather than giving them months living in the lap of luxury. I've got to ask you, are you able to do anything when these things occur, or do you just watch this train go off the rails like the rest of us?
No. The committee has got things to do, but we have to know about them, obviously. And it's unfortunate that we get to hear about these things from the media. And but we, as an oversight body, we do have quite a few things to do. They just take time that the public doesn't have to be watching this happen in before their eyes. Like I'm saying, I am hoping that the parliamentary leadership will agree for us to include this item on the agenda so that the minister can tell us exactly what happened, how, if all this information is true, I'm not doubting it, how this could happen in the Department of Social Development. So I'm hoping that would happen, Bongani.
I suppose they were too busy with shenanigans of the last minister, probably. Bridget Masango, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Up next, one of those stories that you read, you shake your head because it's too ghastly to contemplate. Farmers in Zimbabwe feeding poultry medicines meant for humans. Up next.
This is EWN.
Andrea Johnson distances herself from an IDEC investigator accused of fabrication, and the ball is on Ramaphosa's side of the court on Selby Mbenenge's future. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Outgoing IDEC head Andrea Johnson has told the Madlanga Commission she knows nothing about one of her investigators who are accused of fabricating a witness statement. Senior investigator Dylan Paramal was accused by his colleagues of forging the signature of a witness and fabricating their statement. Paramal is at the center of a fresh storm facing IDEC's credibility. Tabiso Koba has more.
On the 6th of January last year, 3 IDEC officials traveled to Cape Town to obtain supplementary statements from National Coloured Congress Member of Parliament Fadil Adams. The statements were meant to bolster Adams' initial complaints relating to his claims of corruption and fraud at SAP's crime intelligence. When the IDEC officials returned from Cape Town, they had 2 sets of different statements from one witness. In a voice note sent to the Madlanga Commission, IDEC investigator Mancha Rampesu says he doesn't know the statements obtained by his colleague Dylan Paramal.
I was questioning that signature of Fadil. It looks like someone was trying to jigger it.
IDEC prosecutor Raikilin Ramsamy also disavowed the witness statements commissioned by Paramal.
But Dylan did not take or commission any statements in my presence.
Meanwhile, the former head of IDEC, Andrea Johnson, says she was unaware of this matter as no one has ever raised it before. Johnson returns to the Madlanga Commission today for a 5th day of testifying. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
It's now up to President Cyril Ramaphosa to decide whether Eastern Cape Judge President Selby Mbenenge is suspended following a recommendation by the Judicial Service Commission. The JSC has advised the president to suspend Mbenenge after its finding that he committed gross misconduct in connection with sexual harassment allegations brought by his former secretary Andiswa Mengo. Mbenenge has taken the findings of the commission on review, arguing they are based on a wrong legal test. Dimakaso Leshoro has more.
The decision comes as Judge Selby Mbenenge fights to stop his impeachment in the High Court in a separate legal challenge. Mbenenge is seeking to overturn the JSC's finding, arguing that the decision was irrational, unlawful and procedurally flawed. Research and Advocacy Officer at Judges Meta Mbegezeli Benjamin says the cases will not overlap.
The decision by the Judicial Service Commission to place Judge Mbenenge on suspension does not affect his ongoing legal proceedings. In those legal proceedings, he is asking for an interdict to stop Parliament from continuing with the impeachment process.
The case centers on WhatsApp messages between Mbenenge and Mengo, although the Judicial Conduct Tribunal found Mengo had lied in part of the evidence and was a willing participant in text exchanges. It still found Mbenenge breached the judicial code a finding the JSC ultimately elevated to gross misconduct. Mbenenge says this finding was based on a wrong test and it should be set aside. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
Suspended Public Investment Corporation CEO Patrick Dlamini is approaching the High Court in Pretoria on an urgent basis to challenge his precautionary suspension. He wants the court to declare the suspension unlawful, arguing he learnt about it through media reports before being formally informed. Dlamini was suspended this month following an anonymous whistleblower complaint. Anelita Fandese has more.
In court papers, Patrick Dlamini argues that the PIC board failed to properly apply its mind before suspending him, rendering the decision unlawful. He further contends that the move has plunged the leadership of the country's largest asset manager into uncertainty at a time when stability is critical. The PIC, which manages government employees' pension and other public funds, has yet to publicly respond to the court application. The matter is expected to be heard on an urgent basis. The PIC is embroiled in a multi-layered governance crisis stemming from an investment and loan granted to BEE shareholder Acapulco to acquire a stake in Lanseria Airport more than a decade ago. Anelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And health authorities are on high alert in the Democratic Republic of Congo as the country battles what's been described as the fastest growing Ebola outbreak in history. Latest government data has shown a rise in confirmed cases to 3,200 as of Sunday, with a total of 1,405 deaths recorded to date. According to authorities, the outbreak is largely driven by the Bundibugyo strain of the virus, which has no approved vaccines or specific treatments. Zikona Miso takes a look.
The Bundibugyo virus, also known as BDBV, is one of 6 known species of the Ebola virus. It was first identified in 2007 during an outbreak in the Bundibugyo district in Uganda, where it got its name. It presents with symptoms including fever, severe headache, muscle pain, weakness, fatigue, diarrhea, vomiting, and in some cases bleeding. Congolese authorities have partnered with international health organizations to ramp up life-saving efforts as both the number of infections and deaths increases. The World Health Organization and other partners are monitoring the situation closely as concerns grow over cross-border spread. Zikona Miso, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,046.46 an ounce. The rand is at 16.79 to the dollar, 22.33 to the pound, 19.10 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.33 a barrel.
There's queuing traffic on the N3 North between the airlines interchange and the Geldenhuys turnoff. That's due to roadworks, and more roadworks are causing delays on the N3 North. This is now towards Edenville Hospital. Please be on the lookout. There are delays coming out of the Giluli's interchange.
And in your sport, Banyana suffer a shock 2-1 loss in their opening WAFCON match. Relebohile Mofokeng dominated last night's PSL Awards, named Footballer, Players Player and Young Player of the Season. And South Africa's swimmers win 2 more medals at the Commonwealth Games.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 19 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Outgoing IDEC head Andrea Johnson has told the Madlaga Commission she knows nothing about one of her investigators who is accused of fabricating a witness's statements.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 7 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. I think the more we've watched the train wreck that is the now former head of IDEC, or at least the outgoing head of IDEC, the more we have raised serious questions in all our minds about how that institution was working under her leadership. There were just basic things that she could not explain. Including, of course, the idea that you can conclude that fraud has been committed in situations you can't explain. It was just on and on and on and more of the same. Have a listen to this moment with advocate Mahlape Silo questioning how the Independent Directorate Against Corruption, this is IDEC, concluded fraud had been committed, noting that the affidavit before the commission only referred to a transfer and security clearance, and on that basis, they thought this person had committed fraud.
Why is IDEC charging General Madondo for that based on what Mr. Adams alleges? What wrong did she commit by being laterally transferred? There is no suggestion that she committed fraud by misrepresenting or otherwise her clearance position or status.
It is not in this paragraph, but I do understand that that is what is being investigated, is fraud committed in getting, she committed fraud, but in order to have herself laterally transferred.
How do you land there? This is all you have regarding her transfer.
Yes.
How do you land at a place where you say she committed fraud?
No, I'm saying it is not in here.
Where is it?
It is in the rest of the docket where they have other statements. They're not Adam's statements. So I take your point again, as we did about the vetting, but just to indicate that there was in fact a fraud investigation that was undertaken, given her own allegedly fraudulent conduct.
Investigators being accused of forging witness signatures and fabricating their statements. And on that basis, you go and make very consequential arrests. There has to be more to it than just incompetence, as Clement has suggested.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
11 after 7, things you need to know at this hour. Parents are being once again reminded to prep documents and have them ready because the Gauteng Department of Education will be opening online admissions for grades 1 and 8 for the 2027 school year. This is on the 5th of August to the 29th of August 2026. Parents are urged to apply early through the online admissions system. And have you ever been proven right after everyone doubted you? How does that feel? Well, of course, as a result of what you've just heard there, the NPA now provisionally withdrawing the fraud and corruption case against Crime Intelligence Head Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, Brigadier Dineo Mukwele, and their co-accused. In the meantime, the Judicial Service Commission has recommended that President Cyril Ramaphosa suspend the Eastern Cape Judge President Selby Mbenenge after finding him guilty of gross misconduct linked to that sexual harassment complaint lodged by his secretary Andiswa Mengo. India ordering manufacturers of high caffeine beverages, including Pepsi's Sting, Red Bull and Monster, to stop calling them energy drinks. They're arguing that that's misleading because in India there's no official standard for that category. Instead, regulators want these products to now be labeled as caffeinated beverages or caffeinated drinks, which they say more accurately reflects what they are and avoids implying they provide health or even energy benefits. The companies will have 90 days to comply. And it was on this day in 2007, Plain White Tees scored their first Billboard Hot 100 #1 with Hey There, Delilah.
Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty, yes you do. Times Square can shine as bright as you, I swear it's true. Hey there, Delilah, don't you worry about the distance, I'm right there. If you get lonely, give this song another listen, close your eyes.
It was a song inspired by real-life runner Delilah de Crescenzo, whom the frontman Tom Higginson had met and wrote the song to impress, despite the two never dating. It was released in 2006. It was a slow-burning hit, and it suddenly blew up, earned 2 Grammy nominations in 2008, including Song of the Year.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 after 7. Let's catch up with the roads. The roadworks on the N3 continue to be a challenge, Amu.
Indeed, Bongani, this is between the airlines interchange and the Geldenhuys turnoff, and then if you continue again making your way towards Edenville Hospital, more delays due to roadworks along the N3 north between the Glulies interchange and Modderfontein Road. That accident we spoke about earlier in Benoni has been cleared, but traffic remains very slow between Snake Road and Tom Jones Street. There's also slow-moving traffic on the N1 South heading towards Midrand between the Brockfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
It's 7:15 onto this. I mean, it's a story that sounds almost unbelievable. And of course, if true, it could have profound implications for public health, food safety, and the global fight against antimicrobial resistance. Reports from Zimbabwe suggest some poultry farmers are allegedly feeding antiretroviral medicines to chickens. These are the ARVs that are meant for HIV treatment. This is in the belief that the drugs help the birds grow faster and survive disease. The practice has alarmed scientists and public health experts, not only because ARVs are life-saving medicines for people living with HIV, but because their misuse in livestock could have unintended consequences that will extend far beyond the farm. South Africa is already battling one of the world's biggest burdens of antimicrobial resistance, where bacteria, viruses, and other microbes become resistant to medicines that once killed them. So experts are warning that the misuse of medicines anywhere along the food chain can increase the risk of resistant organisms emerging, threatening both animal and human health. We're joined now by Dr. Linda Bester, the Deputy Chair of the Animal Research Ethics Committee at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Dr. Bester, very good morning to you, and thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning, Bongani. Thank you for having me.
I mean, say it isn't true. Tell me it ain't so.
I wish I could, but unfortunately, I believe these farmers are desperate, and they're using these HIV pills in their chicken field, and obviously it's illegal black market tricks, and they hope it helps to keep their chickens healthy and their profits a bit more.
When you first heard the reports that some farmers were allegedly feeding ARVs to chicken to promote health, as a scientist, what was your immediate reaction?
Well, obviously it did concern because as a researcher at UKZN and we're studying food safety, if you're putting medicines, any medicines into animal feed, and that is definitely a recipe for disaster. So it really makes the meat dangerous, and obviously it creates this drug-resistant germs that we really don't want into our health system.
But, I mean, does it work? Does it at least do what those who practice believe it does?
No. It's a complete myth. It does not. HIV drugs do not build chicken muscle. They, like our animals are already genetically engineered to grow faster. Normal broiler chickens. So the effect is more like a water retention and a redistribution of unhealthy fat. So the birds really do look bigger, but it's just a watery chemical bloating. It's really not real, and it's really unethically. I can't imagine the metabolic state that these animals are in.
One farmer, though, who told the Southern Africa Accountability Journalism Project that her operation grew from 200 to 10,000 birds per 2-year cycle period, convinced it works.
Yeah, but it's an illusion. Like I said, the chickens really do grow fast because they are genetically engineered. So they bloat up quickly, and the farmers then slaughter at 4 weeks instead of 6. So the common diseases of broiler chickens start normally around 5 weeks. So they basically kill these unhealthy bloated chickens off even before they get there. So it's really not a miracle. It's just the timing tricking, outrunning the natural cause of diseases of chickens rather than slaughtering them early, but it's a chemical bloated animal that they are slaughtering.
So, I mean, it appears there's quite an organized black market network that supplies ARVs for this purpose.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, it seems to be people getting human medication that is leaked into the system. So it's a bit sad that they are basically stealing these life-saving medications and then using it as an agricultural commodity. It's basically a serious crime. I think it should really be a concern for the Zimbabwean authorities.
I mean, it offends everything from an ethical point of view if you consider the fight that we once had to even get these drugs to be distributed in the way that they're available to people these days. And if you think of the number of people who died unable to access them, to only now find out this is what they're being used for, rather, it really is quite shocking. And let's be clear, Dr. Bester, medicines for animals are not approved in the same way as they are for people.
No, they are all controlled under a watchdog that we call the SAPRA, that's the Health Products Regulatory Authority. And they've got two lines. Animal medication have to have strict withdrawal periods and testing, which human medicine doesn't have. So before your meat goes to the market, it has to have weeks after the medication has been provided. So they basically make sure that there is no residues of any medication left in the meat. So the consumer is getting medicine-free meat products. So unfortunately, in this case, if you just read it, you can see that there seems to be a lot of funny stuff going on with the meat. Like they say it's bland, or they say it has a different color, which is really concerning for a consumer.
What's the threat to human health?
Obviously, when you get these residues in of this HIV, because the animal's body is not going to break everything down. So getting little bits in eventually will create graft-resistant strain. So when the person really needs this sort of treatment, the option will not be there. So it will cause a treatment failure, which was supposed to be a life-saving HRV.
And as I understand it, this is not unique to Zimbabwe. There have been other cases in other countries where it wasn't just poultry, but pork as well.
Yeah, they state that similar studies found in Uganda and Tanzania, where there were small studies that picked up, especially informal and small holdings, where what we call backyard breeding, where they conducted these sort of a messy mix of a cocktail, and it's also not very standardized. So I think it's whatever they can get their hands on, and it's particularly because the farmers are under stress, and the feed for animals can be quite expensive sometimes, and there's a lack of veterinary availability. So they turn to these potions to hope to produce, basically, put something on the table for their own family.
And as I understand it also, ARVs are in fact just one of the ingredients in this cocktail being given to the animals.
Yeah, exactly. The farmers have this messy mix. So you have these human pills and whatever they can find, and this can be painkillers or human antibiotics. And I would say it's actually antibiotics that are keeping these chickens alive, because in these informal breeding systems, often hygiene is not high on the priority list. So the farmers often then mistakenly give all the credit to the HIV pill, which there's absolutely no relation between keeping the animal healthy and the HIV pill.
Is enough being done, do you think, to stop this? And who should be doing it?
Well, in South Africa, we've got wonderful laws, and our things are highly regulated. The HRVs are controlled. You have to have a patient file. You go to a clinic. So yes, we do have strong laws, but enforcement will have to be improved. And we've got health inspectors and border police. And these veterinarians, they all work together, and probably there has to be more focus on the informal market to make sure that these ARVs don't leak out of the clinic where they are normally sourced from.
How likely could we see the development of, some super bug or some disease develop from all of this?
Well, the HRV doesn't work on bacteria, but it can probably the little bit kill off weak germs, the strains which they are intended for, and leave the strongest ones alive. So these survivor strains, they mutate, and that's what we now call superbugs. They will stay on the meat because they contaminate the meat often during the slaughtering process, and basically find themselves to our kitchens and cause infections that basically cannot be cured anymore by normal medicine. So your first line treatment options are basically disabled.
The World Health Organization has described antimicrobial resistance as a silent pandemic because, of course, it happens gradually and not everyone notices until the medicines just simply don't work, and then it's too late.
That's true. The World Health Organization has listed quite a number. There's quite a global awareness of antibiotic resistance, and many countries have banned certain antibiotics or antimicrobials, for that matter, that are used both. It used to be used both in humans and animals, so they banned the use of it in animals completely. In South Africa, it's not far behind. We have a very good regulated system, and there is much awareness of this sort of thing to make sure that the ultimate medications are really kept away from animal use whatsoever. So, yes, it is definitely an issue. And you can imagine something like an organ transplant or just someone undergoing chemotherapy, the devastation if those antibiotics or antimicrobials don't work anymore, that sort of medical treatment will just absolutely have a failure or weak outcome than was originally meant for.
Gosh, it speaks to all-round failure of health systems, of regulators and all sorts. It's happening in Zimbabwe now, and there have been other reports from other countries. And with migration patterns being what they are, one wonders, perhaps even worries if any of our medicines have been stolen from South African facilities to be a part of this mess. Appreciate your time. Linda Bester is the Deputy Chair of the Animal Research Ethics Committee at UKZN.
EWN Business.
28 after 7, Vodacom expecting money to roll in, Muteo, after acquiring a larger stake in Safaricom.
Yeah, Vodacom has upped its long-term revenue ambitions to more than 300 billion rand after bagging a 55% controlling stake in Safaricom. This is up from 35% previously. The telecoms group says the deal strengthens its presence across Africa and positions it for faster growth in mobile, digital and financial services. For the 3 months ended in June, Vodacom reported a 5.9% revenue growth to 42 billion rand, while service revenue was up at 34 billion. Now, financial services, including mobile money, remained a key growth driver for the telecoms firm, with revenue rising by 17% there. Across the group, including Safaricom, mobile wallet transactions totaled $547 billion over the past year. So really, really in a good position at the moment.
Wall Street, bit of a choppy trading session?
Yeah, it's been tough. And that's because a lot of earnings are going to be coming through from the likes of Meta and Amazon. So a lot of cautious trade. And that's what happened in the US yesterday. The tech-heavy NASDAQ composite ending the day down by 0.2%. In Asia this morning, South Korea's Kospi dropping by 6%. Japan's Nikkei also down 0.5%. Due to those results that are set to come out. Microsoft also reporting on earnings later this week. But on our market, more buoyant on a Monday, up more than 700 points. Thungela, though, had reported a loss of 5% yesterday. Sasol down 3% as that oil price remains low. Exxaro also down 2%. The rand at this hour, 16 rand 81, weaker against the dollar, 19 rand 11 cents against the euro, and 22 rand 35 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is down 0.5% at $4,041. That's for the ounce, and platinum at $1,604. Brent crude down by close to 2% at $87 a barrel. More business after 8.
Time now for latest Eyewitness News. Let's go straight to the news desk. Sfiso Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Political parties have been compelled to indicate whether they've made use of synthetic tools such as AI in their election content. This is part of the IEC's Code of Conduct targeting disinformation in the November local government elections. The IEC says this is to protect the information integrity of the polls. Babalondenze reports.
The Commission's Chief Electoral Officer, Saima Mabolo, says they've increased their capacity to deal with the social media space in time for the November polls. He says the proposed code of conduct for disinformation has now been put out for public comment.
And that code of conduct on disinformation seeks to achieve a number of things. Firstly, is to place obligations on participating parties and their candidates to identify instances of disinformation.
He says AI also forms part of the code.
We also place an obligation on political parties where they use synthetic content created through AI to white label such content.
Mamabolo says this year's election will break a few records, with the highest number of candidates at 91,000 who will contest for more than 10,000 seats in municipal councils. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The South African Human Rights Commission has released a report highlighting serious wastewater infrastructure failures and pollution in parts of the Eastern Cape. The Commission says the findings expose severe contamination at several sites, with the West Bank of Kukompo recording extremely high E. coli levels and near total oxygen depletion. The Buffalo City municipality has been ordered to submit a 14-day plan, while Kucha and Nelson Mandela Bay may have been directed to improve wastewater treatment, monitoring and public health communication. The Commission spokesperson, Wisani Baloi.
The Commission finds that wastewater pollution implicates the right to dignity and to an environment that is not harmful to health or well-being. The report does not declare every affected beach permanently unsafe, but confirms that water quality may deteriorate rapidly and requires regular testing, prompt public warnings and effective investigation of policing sources.
Policing has been bolstered in some Cape Town communities where gun violence claimed at least 15 lives. This includes Kayamnandi settlement in Stellenbosch, where 4 people were shot dead and 4 others, including 2 police officers, were wounded over the weekend. Deadly gun attacks were also reported in Khayelitsha, Gugulethu and Manenberg all the way through to yesterday. The police's Andre Trout says detectives from the Provincial Serious and Violent Crime Unit are leading investigations.
A 9mm firearm was recovered and will undergo forensic examination. Anyone with information that could assist the investigation is urged to contact Crime Stop on 08600 10111.
And Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to meet with Donald Trump at the White House today to try again to win the U.S. president's support against Russia. The visit comes as Kyiv and Moscow ramp up long-range strikes, and diplomatic efforts launched by Washington remain at a standstill more than 4 years on from Russia's full-scale invasion. Relations between Zelensky and Trump have long been strained, but the U.S. leader has in recent weeks shown greater indulgence to his Ukrainian counterpart. Since his return to power in January last year, Trump has largely ended direct deliveries of U.S. arms to Kyiv in favor of the Pearl program, which allows Europeans to buy weapons and then supply them to Ukraine. Washington, though, remains a major ally of Kyiv, providing it notably with intelligence and access to Starlink's satellite system that allows its frontline troops to communicate. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 4 and 5 degrees, peaking at highs between 19 and 22 degrees.
And in the traffic, there's been an accident on the N3 South in the Edenville area. It happened right near the Giluli's interchange. Delays from Linksfield Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N12 and the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange. That's due to peak time delays there.
The top story this hour, political parties have been compelled to indicate whether they've made use of synthetic tools like AI in their election content.
Drivers, winter fatigue creeps in faster than you think. That heater may keep you warm, but it can also make you drowsy. Crack a window. Take your rest breaks seriously. Stay fresh, stay focused, because when you're behind the wheel of a heavy vehicle, fatigue doesn't just risk your life, it risks everyone's. So stay alert, stay visible, and stay safe. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Transport.
What's for dinner tonight, South Africa? Hiya, Jamie Oliver here. Dinner stress? Forget it. I've teamed up with Checkers to bring you some of my favourite recipes the whole family will love. Like my tasty superfood quinoa salad, veggie, gluten-free and packed with goodness. Easy peasy and delicious. Shop the ingredients on Checkers 6060 and boom, delivered in 60 minutes. Every week, 5 brand new dinner ideas. Checkers, dinner done better.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. Did you know the total number of Powerball winners in June are 4,001,000? Listen carefully. 4,152,822, and the total prize money won is over 530 million rand. So play Powerball and catch live draws on Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, Bongani. I'm hoping that we're not importing anything that is edible from Zimbabwe, like those chickens. Yo. Hi. Rogers in Johannesburg.
Your radio article on the misuse of HRV drugs in chickens, that's not the start or the end of it. The misuse of drugs in the beef industry is incredible. There are drugs that have 60, 70, 90-day withdrawal periods, and farmers deliberately ignore them and send cattle in for slaughter. There's no testing facilities. There is nothing. I mean, there are certain producers that I won't touch meat from. Anonymous in Zimbabwe.
Good morning, Bongani. Brefana here. So there was a bus involved in an incident a few months back, which was reported to be traveling to Zimbabwe, and that the passengers were found with hundreds of medication of ARVs. Well, I was wondering where were they going. I guess we know, or perhaps we should not say that in the fear that we will be accused of the common X word. Right. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Bingwa. No, chickens are being fed this stuff that is meant for human beings. I remember that bus that had an accident, and there was a big, I think it was a box or 2 boxes of ARV medication on it. Explains the demand. Where there's a demand, there needs to be a supply. Have a great day. Sharp.
Look, and the thing is, people might say, well, okay, hang on, maybe I'm a vegetarian, or B, I'm not likely to eat chicken or any meat grown in Zimbabwe. You may think that to yourself, but the worry here is obviously not just about ARVs, but antibiotics and other medicines that are being fed to these animals. And what might that mean for the development of drug-resistant strains or other issues generally, whether it be HIV or tuberculosis or some other issue, because the food that we eat might be contaminated in this way. And with cross-border migration and movement of people, you can also appreciate that the strains and illnesses they carry will move about as well. And so by the time you need the key interventions from a health point of view, they won't work because your system, my system, could be contaminated in this way. So it's not just about whether you ingested the actual chicken or the meat that has these drugs. It's a whole lot more down the value chain.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. A chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Malibo. Malibo, what's today's answer, please?
Hi, Bongani. Today's answer is what's the 411?
That's a good one, right? What's the question? I mean, essentially. Malebo, fantastic. You walk away with 1,000 Rand, all thanks to Outsurance. Malebo's answer is, what's the 411? Urban Speak 4? Let us know on 011 883 0702, and you could win 2,000 Rand.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, I mean, Banyana have sort of been the bright stars of football for a long time in South Africa.
Yeah.
Not great to see them not do so well, hey?
Yeah, they just looked a bit not their usual sparky self yesterday. They suffered that 2-1 loss in their opening match at WAFCON. Though they had more possession, Tanzania took the lead in the 38th minute before Mbane headed it in to equalise going into half-time. The heartbreak came 3 minutes from time. Ubamba sealed the win for Tanzania. Banyana next play Ivory Coast on Friday night. Last night, Ivory Coast beat Burkina Faso 4-1. Orlando Pirates' Relebohile Mofokeng dominated the PSL Awards last night, named Best Footballer, Player and Young Player of the Season, with Abdeslam Wadu named Coach of the Season. Sepo Chane was Best Goalkeeper, Lebone Sima Best Defender, and Aswin Apollos Best Midfielder. Team South Africa is still sixth on the Commonwealth Games medals table. Last night, Michael Hooley in the 50-metre breaststroke missed out on gold by 0.017 seconds.
I'm a bit annoyed, but at the end of the day, got to be grateful, and it's just one race. So, I mean, factually, I've been faster, and I know the level that I can produce. I can't really remember the race in detail, still vague in my memory right now, but I'll take a look at it, and get the feedback and just move forward.
Well, Erin Gallagher took bronze in the 100-metre butterfly.
I knew this race was going to be a dogfight from the heat when I saw the girls going hard in the morning. So elated to have touched the wall and seen a third place. I got about, I think, 0.01. And I just said, thank you, God when I touched the race. I think I was actually thanking him for keeping me alive in those last 5 meters.
Shame it's the out of breathness.
Oh, I love it. But just as they finished.
Right.
Those silver and bronze take South Africa to 11 medals, 3 gold, 3 silver and 5 bronze. Tonight on the athletics track, the men's 100-metre semi-final starting at 8. South Africa represented in the first semi-final by Cheswell Johnson. Then Bradley Nkwana in semi-final 3, Gift Lewatlela. The men's 100-metre final will be at 14 minutes past 10. In the pool tonight, Olivia Null swims in the 50-metre backstroke. This afternoon in netball, Spa Proteas going for their third straight win, take on Northern Ireland starting at 10-3. And in Test cricket, the West Indies 7 wickets down on day 3. They lead Pakistan by 155 in the first Test. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
17 minutes before 8 o'clock. Amol, let's catch up on the roads. That crash in Edenvale. Bad?
It's a horrible one, Bongani. It's now causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Modderfontein Road all the way to the Kilulis interchange, about a 15-minute hold up there. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Kilulis interchange and Modderfontein Road. That's due to roadworks on the opposite side of this route. Then if you're traveling on the N1 North towards Florida, do expect delays coming out of Albertina Sisulu Road. That's due to an accident. It's been reported right near 14th Avenue, causing those heavy traffic volumes as well. Then in the city of Tshwane, queuing traffic on the N1 South, in fact a stop and go. This is between the Proof Plus interchange and the Flying Saucer turn off. There's also queuing traffic along the R80 just as you approach Eskia Mphahlele Drive in the Mountain View area. More updates coming up, stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Bulgatex. Their CEO, Evan Lockhart-Barker, will be in conversation with us, and we do this to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
That's Sia, before he got naked. Sia had a bumper bash and had to reattach his fender using duct tape and a prayer. So Sia got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now submit claims instantly on the Naked app. No more arts and crafts for you, Sia. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Center becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic's early spring season features world-class international conductors and soloists performing with our finest musicians. The program includes favorites by Tchaikovsky, Mozart and more. Thursday evenings at the Linda Auditorium from 13 August to 3 September at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at Quicket.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what's the question. If the answer is, what's the 411? Let's go to Joseph. Joseph, what's the question?
What's the name of Mary J. Blige's album that was released on this day in 1992, featuring tracks like You Remind Me and Real Love?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's certainly the album that announced Mary J. Blige to the world. The queen of hip-hop soul, Real Love. This was her monster hit in 1992. Joseph, I was in what the kids call grade 11 today. In 1992, where were you?
I was in school. I was in primary.
Well, good for you, Joseph. You win 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance and 702.
save money, you stock up on 2-for-1 vitamin specials at the pharmacy. So why not spend 10 minutes getting an Outsurance car insurance quote, like 48-year-old Adam, who saves
1,803 Rand. Big drop. It's worth going to Outsurance.
That's an awesome 1,803 Rand saving on Adam's 2020 Audi Q3. Why wait? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance saves 36-year-old Jill 471 Rand on her 2025 Hyundai i20.
471 Rand. I still can't believe, hey? Get Outsurance extra pampering money.
Enjoy benefits like panic assistance that sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. Get a quote to switch and save with Outsurance today. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insured FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
Well, I mean, what a weekend it was. We're still reeling really from this past Sunday as tens of thousands showed up to walk with the people, for our Josie. This is the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Once again, we thank everyone who took the scenic route with us. I think it was an unforgettable day, showing the world that Joburg is more than just a city. It really is an energy that connects all of us. Here's to Joburg. Here's to us. Here's to 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
That's Thabo before he got naked. When Thabo's car broke down, he did what every manly man does best. Hit things, fiddle, and hope it works. So Thabo got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now call roadside assistance anytime on the Naked app. Tools down, Thabo. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
World of viral content now. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, bird.
You hope all our bosses are listening to your next story. This is what they should do.
I wish. I have no hope for this
Right,
to happen to us.
Tell
but
us
hey.
your boss left you what?
So there is a guy, his name is Dave Ramsey, and he's an American radio personality who offers financial advice. So people will call in to him and they'll tell them the story and then he'll give advice. So he took a call from this woman who had worked for a man for many, many years, and he left her something in his will. And obviously she called in to ask for some advice. So let's take a listen to the call and we'll chat thereafter, Bongles.
My boss just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and so he left me some money, and so I'm just trying to really figure out what I'm supposed to do. Like, my dad has told me what I need to do, but it's a lot going on, and I'm just trying to, because I don't have a job now since my boss passed away, but
Your boss left you money in his will?
Yes.
Wow, that's an unusual arrangement.
I was his personal assistant for 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did.
He didn't have family then.
He did.
Okay.
So his wife is the one that actually called me and let me know that I was left something.
Oh, okay. So he didn't leave everything to you.
No.
Okay, I'm just trying. It's just an unusual story. It's a wonderful story, but I'm trying to understand. So, how much did he leave you?
$1.25
million.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Right? So she's just putting in, she's coming to this money and she wants to know what to do with it. But the story behind how she receives it is what is really, really intriguing.
Yes, and I mean I can understand that. So if you are a high-powered businessman, you own your own business, and you have a personal assistant who's been with you for many years, and maybe would travel with you overseas and on business trips, I get that because it's a close relationship, and they probably deal and handle your life and maybe sometimes your family's lives as well.
Wait, Kabazela, are you suggesting that if you are a boss, for example, I mean, not that one wishes for any boss to die, but if you're a boss, I don't know, and you have a radio presenter, it's not quite the same relationship, is it?
No. Well, first of all, I don't think you'd
a
have
radio
one
presenter
point.
who's worked for... No, I'm saying if one of our bosses, you see where I'm going with this. If they've had a presenter work for them for many years.
No, you come and go. You come and go.
Oh, rats. I'm not going to get anything.
No. But maybe the PA might get something. And this is what I wanted to ask, right? So, I mean, if you have a story like this, I'd love to hear it. Do call in or send us a voice note. But on the other side of the coin, have you been left money or been included in somebody's will who is outside of your immediate family? I don't know if there is any stories like that, but I'd really be interested to hear. And also on the other side then, have you decided in your will, you've written in your will that you want to give money or leave money to somebody that is completely outside of your circle of family and friends?
Yeah, I mean, before you leave anything to your cats and dogs, remember the poor old presenters, hey?
Presenters, producers.
There you go. All right, let's have a bit of fun with that. And then, gosh, this took me back to probably 1997 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
The first time I ever got my own place. I'll let you tell it.
Yeah, so if you've moved out of home and you're now renting, or you've bought your first place and you have to move in by yourself, maybe you were diligent and you saved up and you would be able to, buy yourself these things beforehand. But most of the time, you'll move in and you only have the bare necessities, right? So this guy, his story basically, he was with a partner for many, many years. They broke up in his 90s, 30s, and the partner kept everything. So he had to move out into his own home and start all over again. And he talks to us about his journey of the stuff that he had to buy. So I wanted to put it out there to our 702 family. Take yourself back to those days when you had to buy yourself the necessities, or the things that you think were necessities, when you moved out into your own place. What would the top 3 things be for you that you have to have when you move into your home to make it feel like a home and comfortable? What would those 3 things be for you, Bongles?
I remember the first time I had to think about buying curtains. And I thought, that's something you buy. Teaspoons, cutlery. The first time you buy cutlery, you think, what? It didn't fall from the trees. Because, you've grown up with those things always there. I mean, no matter what was happening in our lives, no matter where we were moving to or from, we always had cutlery. We always had curtains. And there I was as a 20-something-year-old on my own for the first time and realizing, oh my gosh, those things don't fall from the sky. All right, if you're starting over, if you are moving into a brand new place, what are the first things you prioritize? Let us know.
702 Feedback
with Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa, do you remember moving into your first little flat or room or whatever it may have been all those years ago?
I never lived alone for long, but when I did move into my first property, I prioritized new plates, new glasses. I just wanted those things to be new. New kettle, new knives, new pots. Like, I just wanted things in my kitchen to be new, to be fresh, That's what I prioritize.
For your visitors.
Yeah.
All right. What other feedback do you get?
Well, Bongani, people are reacting very strongly to your big interview this morning, taking us back to the accident that actually happened last year in October, where they said they found ARVs on that bus that was heading to Zimbabwe. And listeners are jokingly saying that now we know what they were using those ARVs for, guys. They are indicating that they were using them for those chickens. And in relation to that, Bongani, the food conversation and the question that you posed about strange foods or foods that people...
Yeah, I asked the question, are there foods you won't touch because you don't know what's in it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, it was a reference to the big interview story that we did. But particularly in those situations where you can't just say no. You're not in a restaurant.
But your listeners are actually saying, you know what, politely decline. I mean, if your mind is already telling you that this is not a food that I want to try, this is not a food that I want to go for, obviously your stomach will never agree, won't be in alignment.
No,
so
what you do
just
is,
politely decline.
Do you want the trick?
Mm-hmm.
You say, no, before I came here, I had this large meal. I'm so full, but it looks yum. It looks delicious. And so you grab the plate and you pray that you can survive 3 bites.
At
right?
least.
And you say, oh, it is so delicious. Can I have a skaftin? It's so delicious.
And then you leave home
so
skaftin then.
And so I've got to take some home. I'm so full right now, but I've got, it's so yummy.
Yeah.
You get a skaftin and, well...
That is it.
Your little animals will be happy with you when you get home. It's 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Andrea Johnson distances herself from an IDEC investigator accused of fabrication, and Ramaphosa calls for collaboration to deal with mass migration. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Outgoing IDEC head Andrea Johnson is expected to continue with her testimony at the Madlanga Commission for a 5th day as the unit's credibility is under the spotlight. Johnson has now resigned as IDEC boss, but questions about her role there are far from over. She told the Commission yesterday that she knows nothing about an investigator who is accused of fabricating a witness's statement. Dylan Perimal was accused by his colleagues of forging the signature of the witness and fabricating the statement. Tabiso Koba has more.
On the 6th of January last year, 3 IDEC officials travelled to Cape Town to obtain supplementary statements from National Coloured Congress Member of Parliament Fadil Adams. The statements were meant to bolster Adams' initial complaints relating to his claims of corruption and fraud at SAP's crime intelligence. When the IDEC officials returned from Cape Town, they had 2 sets of different statements from one witness. In a voice note sent to the Madlanga Commission, IDEC investigator Mancha Rampesu says he doesn't know the statements obtained by his colleague Dylan Perimal.
I was questioning that signature of Fadil. It looks like someone was trying to jigger it.
IDEC prosecutor Raikilin Ramsamy also disavowed the witness statements commissioned by Perimal.
But Dylan did not take or commission any statements in my presence.
Meanwhile, the former head of IDEC, Andrea Johnson, says she was unaware of this matter as no one has ever raised it before. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
One of Kat Matlala's co-accused will remain in court for trial after her application to be excused from parts of the proceedings was refused. Ntabiseng Nzama is accused number 5 in the attempted murder and murder trial of the alleged crime boss. Nzama pleaded with the Johannesburg High Court yesterday to allow her to miss evidence unrelated to her 3 charges of money laundering. She says the daily travel between Pretoria and Johannesburg is taking a toll on her and that hours spent in court are negatively affecting her studies. Demakasa Leshoro has more.
Delivering his ruling, Judge Karim Musa says Section 159 of the Criminal Procedure Act permits an accused to be absent only in limited circumstances. Judge Musa found Nzama's application did not meet the required legal threshold, adding the issue was never raised during the lengthy pre-trial process.
The application for the relief to be granted in terms of Section 159, subsection 2BB of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 is hereby refused.
Nzama is facing 3 charges for money laundering, which the state will not deal with now. Meanwhile, the trial within a trial continues with the state calling a new witness, Technical Response Team Captain Pimi Alfred Sekhobela. Timakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa can't deal with mass migration alone and other African countries must come together to tackle the phenomenon. He says vigilantism against foreigners won't be tolerated and human rights and immigration laws must be respected. Ramaphosa was addressing the opening of the first ordinary session of the 7th Pan-African Parliament in Johannesburg yesterday. Babalondense reports.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has called on other African countries to come together in addressing mass migration and the push and pull factors that cause it. He says migration has been part of the continent's history for decades and will continue. But Ramaphosa told the Pan-African Parliament delegates that other countries need to do more.
And we call upon various countries on our continent to work with us to address this challenge. South Africa cannot solve this challenge alone. It needs to work together with its sister countries and with the peoples of our continent.
Ramaphosa says if left unmanaged, migration has the potential to undermine the sovereignty and national security of the country. Babalondense, Eyewitness News.
And U.S. President Donald Trump appears optimistic about prospects for a negotiated peace deal with Iran as the two sides held their fire for a third consecutive day. Fighting between the longtime foes has been paused since Friday after 13 nights of renewed U.S. strikes on the Islamic Republic sparked by a breakdown in diplomacy over Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. But the U.S. leader expressed hope that renewed diplomacy could bring an end to the war that he started in late February with a wave of U.S.-Israeli strikes rattling both the region and the global economy.
And we're talking right now. You know, they wanted to talk. Their people said, please don't shoot last night, the night before, 2 nights. Don't do it. You know, we're having good talks. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a good chance that something could happen. And if it does, good. If it doesn't, we go back to doing what we were doing 2 days ago.
Meanwhile, Iran's foreign ministry says mediators may convey messages from the Americans to Tehran regarding current developments in the region, but there are no negotiations currently happening between them and the U.S. Gold is trading at $4,046.46 an ounce. The rand is at 16.79 to the dollar, 22.33 to the pound, 19.10 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.33 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 South. This is just as you approach the Giluli's interchange. Delays coming out of Modderfontein Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N17. In fact, a stop and go on the N17 East. This is due to roadworks right as you approach the Carnival City entrance. There's also queuing traffic on the N17 West. This is now as you head towards Osborne Road.
And in your sport, the Commonwealth Games tonight, potentially 3 South Africans competing in the men's 100-meter final after 10 p.m. Last night, the swimmers added a silver and bronze to the medal tally. Not a great start to WAFCON for Banyana, who lost to Tanzania 2-1. And Orlando Pirates' Rolebohile Mofokeng named PSL's Footballer of the Season.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 19 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Outgoing IDEC head Andrea Johnson is expected to continue with her testimony at the Madlanga Commission as the unit's credibility is under the spotlight.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 after 8, the front page of today's Sowetan has a picture of Advocate Andrea Johnson with her hands on her head as she looks at documents. Shameful is the word splashed all over that front page. The anti-corruption unit IDEC suffering another damaging blow as its case against Dumisani Khumalo and other top cops collapses. The Madlanga inquiry told 2 witnesses will testify that a statement submitted by the chief investigator could have been fabricated. What other word do you use but shameful? Shameful. Shameful.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Your reaction to the big interview this morning? Medicines meant for humans now being fed to farm animals in countries in SADC. It's not only Zimbabwe where cases have been found. And the concern, of course, isn't just about whether you eat the chicken yourself or not, but what potential human health hazard this presents as people get infected with all sorts of strains that might be drug resistant. And it's not just ARVs, it's antibiotics. It is a real, real problem. And it really just speaks to the failure around making sure that health and agriculture are conducted responsibly in our region. Your reaction to that story? I suppose the follow-up on that is the conversation we had a little earlier about food you won't touch, even in situations where it would be difficult to decline. So, Mateo, I've come up with a solution.
Yes.
What you do is you say, if it, for example, it's the look and the smell, you say, oh, by the way, I've just come from this extended lunch and we ate so much, so I'm so full, but it looks so yum, yum, yum.
What if you were invited to a lunch?
Look, you come from brunch. You come from brunch. A meeting,
one.
You know how it works. You are full, but you die for 3 bites. So you've got to sample it. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
You go, ooh, num, 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 yum, yum, yum. I'm so full. I need a scuffed in, but
and you give a raving review.
And you suffer for 3 bites.
Why does it sound like you've done this before?
Is this why I don't get invites?
Hi, good morning, Bongani and team. So, a couple of years ago, my life partner thought it's a good idea. We got a sheep's head. And listen, I knew what was coming and I was dreading it. And he was so happy, so happy. He cooked it up for us. And that evening, he split the head in 2 and promptly popped it on the plate. And I had this smiling thing with an eye looking at me. I nearly died. I couldn't. And he was most upset. So, no, never again. Anneke from Velterfree.
Morning, Bongani and the team. Once upon a time, I think I've only tried it that time and never again. My grandmother took me to visit one of her friends, and our sandwich was served with Marmite. That was the worst day. The sandwich stayed in my mouth for literally more than 30 minutes. I couldn't swallow, I couldn't chew anymore, it just stayed there. I tried my best, but yeah.
What are those foods you wouldn't touch? Marmite. What has Marmite ever done to anybody?
I remember the first time eating Marmite, and the smell was too much for me.
Really?
But it ended up becoming my favorite.
It's
yeah,
delish.
it ended up being the most delicious thing in my grandmother's cupboard.
Mateo?
My mom once tried to introduce us to Marmite. I think it was the longest lasting jar of Marmite we've ever had in our pantry because nobody touched it after the first try.
Really? Oh gosh. The things the worst thing about being a parent is introducing your kids to the things you enjoyed when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I've tried fish paste, I've tried sandwich spread, I've tried cheese spread, I've tried Marmite.
Like this coleslaw in a jar.
No. It was, but Yamnand, polony, and sandwich spread.
You've tried.
Oh my word! I've tried cheese and chutney. No.
It's a big no.
And you think if I'd had these, firstly, if I'd had anybody make me a school lunch, forget what was in it.
Yeah,
I would have been happy. No. The Philistines.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Morning, Bongani. Yeah, just speaking to one director in the past many years ago. Yeah, the PA was sick, so he paid, I think she was dying of cancer. So for the last 12 months, he paid full wages, medical bill. Obviously, when she passed on, he took over the kids' studies, paid all that. He went all out. Why? Because obviously she was with him when he just started. Obviously, the company's very big now. But she was grassroots with him. So, yeah, I think he appreciated it and he paid. Yeah, whenever I do see him, I just think differently what kind of a guy he is. But yeah, there's some good people out there. Thanks, mate.
Good morning. It's Sina from Scottsboro. When my sister passed away, she left a small amount to both her domestic and her gardener. Thank you. Bye.
My cousin's grandmother is still receiving a salary from a previous employer as a domestic worker 18 years after she retired. Even today, her previous employer is still paying her salary every single month and with increase every year. 18 years after she had retired, even today.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. That is incredible. How many people would be able to do that?
EWN Traffic.
14 after 8, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. There are delays in the Fourways area. Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. That's due to an accident on the N1 North right after Winnie Mandela Drive, causing heavy delays. We also have got heavy traffic volumes in Fourways along Winnie Mandela Drive between Witkoppen Road and Leslie. That's due to faulty traffic lights. They're also out at Cedar along Winnie Mandela Drive, so please approach with care. And then heading towards Paulshof out of Fourways. Delays on Witkoppen Road approaching Main Road. That's due to roadworks there. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
45 minutes watching your favorite team play. Well, they go by quickly, but 45 minutes stuck in traffic, that feels like a lifetime. Thankfully, the Outsurance pointsmen are here to save the day. Heroes in green and purple, easing traffic congestion for 20 years. The Outsurance pointsmen helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely. It's just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. This Wednesday at 10 to 9, we're speaking to Belgatex. Their CEO, Evan Lockhart-Barker, will be in conversation with us. We do it to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Whether it's a sun-soaked beach escape, an adventure-packed tour, or a luxury cruise, Flight Centre is your center for travel. We make travel easy, affordable, and stress-free. Plus, you can enjoy exclusive traveler perks with our frequent Flighty Rewards program. Flight Centre's got you covered. Visit your nearest Flight Centre store or online at flightcentre.co.za. Flight Centre, your center for travel.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Nkululeko, your time has come to an end. The dish you cooked was perfectly adequate, but that's what it was. And at this stage of the competition, adequate isn't good enough.
You have grown in leaps and bounds. We could see the progression of you becoming a brilliant cook, and that you are. Thank you for giving yourself to us on a plate every single challenge.
I never thought I'd say this, Kuti, a Zulu man who pega my veg njengawe. And seeing you grow in the kitchen was really something special, Putwam.
Yeah, thank you. It's an amazing experience, and I will never forget this moment. Definitely top 5 moments in my life. So, yeah. Top 3, you got this? I started at the bottom 3, ended up in the top 3.
So close, he could taste it. And that's not just an expression in this case, quite literally so close, and he could taste it. In the studio with me, of course, now is Nkululeko Ngubane, the Zulu chief, the Zulu chef. Of course, the latest to exit the MasterChef kitchen, known for his bold flavors, his fearless cooking, and his ability to bounce back. I mean, if I go back to the very first episode, I think you were in the bottom 3, cooked to save your life, at some point winning the immunity pin. That was a big moment. You were sort of in the top 3, and then you weren't.
Yes, Bongani. Good morning. It's and I was in the top 3. It was the top 3.
You were in the top 3,
I was
actually.
the top 3.
How mind-blowing was that twist?
Wow, no, it was total, I don't know, blindside, I guess. We never expected it. We thought maybe it's family members or maybe the challenge was in that box, whatever it was going to be. And to see you smell like Keith and Jishen back, at first we happy, like, wow, our buddies are back. Okay, so what's the challenge? Are we cooking together? Are we going to be in pairs? What's going on? And you're like, chief.
They're back.
Someone's back. They're back.
Did you regret crying when because I was like, oh
no. So my crying incident wasn't for smell specifically. When they told me that my pie crust was raw, that's when I knew it's chai. I'm going home. So when they called us at the end and they were like, I'm safe, I couldn't hold my emotions. Everything just
because I thought I even thought that it was testament to who he was as a contestant that you wept so openly when he exited, but that all came back to bite you, unfortunately.
Yes.
Jollof rice.
Yes. Since it was an African spice theme that day, I wanted to make an African dish.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make something I know and just use an African spice. In hindsight, maybe I should have.
Yeah, because it wasn't so jollofing, hey?
No, my rice was amazing. My rice and chicken, they loved.
Yeah.
My dessert.
My
sponge, specifically my sponge. When I took it out of the oven, I could see it goes, it's a bit dry. I tried to put the syrup from my compote to make it absorb some moisture, but I didn't put enough. And it was just a dry sponge.
That's what done you in, as they say.
Yes.
But, I mean, having lasted for as long as you did in the competition,
yes.
What was the moment for you that you thought to yourself, maybe I am one of the best cooks in the land, certainly home cooks in the land?
Amazing question. So there was an episode, I think episode 7, we had a chocolate challenge and they stopped us halfway through and they gave us a twist. My secret ingredient was chili. So whatever you got, you had to incorporate that into your dish.
Yes.
So I made a chocolate mousse, and my mousse was already set, so I couldn't touch my mousse anymore. So I made some poached cherries and a chili sauce, and I infused my chili in there.
Oh.
I got amazing reviews, and that's the episode. I did my Zulu dance.
But, it's without even remembering the episode, but even as you describe it, it sounds yum, 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 yum.
It was amazing. They loved it. I think that dance activated it activated my ancestors.
The Zuluness.
The Zuluness, and that's what I knew.
What happens next for you and food? Is there still a dream? Is there something you're going to pursue?
Yes, 100%. I started a cooking school. I call it the Cooking Dad Studio. So my thinking behind the school is I want to give home cooks lessons to elevate their dishes at home. But ultimately, I would love to get more dads in the kitchen.
Where do I sign up?
On my profile, it's the Zulu Chef. The link is in my bio, and I would love for you to attend the first masterclass.
I'm in
on the 8th of August. So it's in my bio. I'll give you a complimentary ticket, obviously. And anyone interested in attending, the link is in my bio.
So go to Instagram, the Zulu Chef. Nkululeko, I mean, it was an amazing journey to see you in the MasterChef kitchen. Nkululeko Ngubane, you can look for him on Instagram.
Yes.
I love this idea of this cooking school for dads. I'd certainly like to come and try out one of your master classes.
That would be great. Thank you.
And I think it sounds absolutely fantastic, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Nkululeko Ngubane, the latest chef to exit MasterChef South Africa.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Now, talking about twists in the tale, Adam Gilchrist, goodness me, Ukraine and Iran, now might they start fighting each other?
Yeah, what does this twist mean? Yeah, if they were directly to confront each other, because we know already that there have been some indirect confrontations, that, for instance, Iran has been supplying Russia like crazy with missiles, drones, and other component parts. And Russia, of course, is fighting Ukraine. That Ukraine has also been advising Gulf states on how to repel drones, which puts them, again, indirectly in conflict. But over the weekend, with Ukraine seemingly therefore attacking a cargo ship, an Iranian cargo ship in the Caspian Sea, which is essentially this huge lake with Iran at the bottom and Russia at the top, and that this cargo ship was allegedly delivering weapons parts to Russia and was very close to the Russian coastline. And Ukraine has admitted they did it, but Iran has now threatened to retaliate, which Ukraine is dismissing as unjustified and groundless, saying that essentially they carried out an act against an embargoed ship doing an illegal action, whereas Iran is taking this as direct aggression against them. Where do we possibly go with Ukraine seemingly entering into the Middle East war, or vice versa, depending on how you look at it? President Volodymyr Zelensky has talked about very good results in their long-range strikes, and the Caspian Sea is quite away from Ukraine. And I guess this proves that at the moment, both Russia and Ukraine now have the ability to strike deep into other territories, way beyond what you would expect.
I mean, in our next story, we're pretty much on the same vein, Adam. Keep your neighbors even closer.
Well, we know the problems with neighbours, don't we, sometimes? A little neighbourhood, we've got one at the moment, actually, ourselves, over a fence. I mean, it's classic, isn't it? But Brazil and Argentina, they get very wobbly about their fences. So here we have having a right falling out, and not over football, Argentina's president calling Brazil's president a thief and a convict. Argentina's Javier Milei is right-wing to his capitalist core, whereas Brazil's Luis Inácio Lula da Silva is left-wing to his union soul, so never the twain shall meet. Milei's come out to support da Silva's presidential rival in Brazil, Flavio Bolsonaro, son of the former leader Jair Bolsonaro. In the course of all this flinging of words over the border, President Milei also called the judge who oversaw the conviction of Jair Bolsonaro. Remember, he was done for bribery and corruption. And President Milei called that judge bald trash. I'm sure that particular judge in Brazil won't have lost too much sleep over it. But the result, Brazil has recalled its ambassador to Buenos Aires. Their diplomats are talking about Argentina's president as insulting not just the government, but its people and democracy. Or in Lula da Silva's words, we won't accept anyone sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. It's a thing, isn't it? When neighbours get unneighbourly with each other, where do you stop? And that's a question for the people at number 38, by the way.
And they remain each other's largest trading partners, so we'll see where this will all end up, Adam. Now, reporting bad driving, but what if you are a culprit too?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you get hoisted by your own petard? It's more of a thing these days, of course, isn't it? Because people have dash cams in their cars and cyclists have helmet cams, or some do, certainly. And so here, I don't know, there's a certain karma in this, that a cyclist who submitted footage of some bad driving to police has now himself been fined for bad riding. So the cyclist lives in the UK city of Leeds. He uploaded a video to West Yorkshire Police which shows a car driving too close. But frankly, it does look like the cyclist has to veer around a parked car and kind of go into the middle of the road. So of course the oncoming car is too close. Because he took the video whilst riding, it also therefore reveals him to be cycling without due care and attention, hoisted by his own petard. The bad driver, by the way, was fined a couple of £100. The bad cyclist, 1,200 or 26,000 rand, including court costs. So I guess what goes around comes around, but be careful who you're reporting.
Yeah, I mean, there's some justice. I don't know. There's some justice to the tittle-teller being caught himself in his own tail, as it were. All right, we'll leave it there for this morning's Worldview with Adam Gilchrist.
EWN Business.
Vodacom expecting the money to come in. Hello, Gogo time.
Big cash time for Vodacom. Bongani, Vodacom has upped its long-term revenue ambitions to more than 300 billion rand after bagging a 55% controlling stake in Safaricom. The telecoms group says the deal strengthens its presence across the continent and positions it for faster growth in mobile, digital and financial services. Looking at some of the results for the 3 months to June, Vodacom reporting a 6% revenue growth to over 42 billion rand, while service revenue was also positive at 34.3 billion. Now, financial services, including mobile money, remained a key growth driver, with revenue rising more than 17% there. Vodacom has also upped its dividend policy. The group plans to pay shareholders at least 65% of headline earnings.
Aspen securing the rights to develop, manufacture and sell this once a month HIV prevention pill.
Yeah, Aspen Pharmacare shares were up more than 2% on that news after the firm secured the rights to develop, manufacture and sell an experimental once-a-month HIV prevention pill. The South African pharmaceutical company is one of 3 African manufacturers chosen by Merck & Co., known as MSD, outside of the US and Canada, to produce the drug called alimatravir in 129 low and middle income countries. This includes every country on our continent. It's the first time African manufacturers have been included from the start of the company's licensing program for an HIV prevention medicine. If ongoing clinical trials are successful and regulators approve the drug, alimatravir will become the world's first monthly HIV prevention pill.
The markets?
Well, markets were good yesterday, especially on the JSE, up more than 700 points yesterday. So ending off the day on a positive foot. This is despite mining shares being down 0.5% yesterday. The rand this morning, 16 rand 81 against the US dollar, weaker before markets open at 19 rand 10 cents against the euro and 22 rand 33 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,044 an ounce, or platinum is up more than 1% at $1,602. Brent crude down 3.5% this morning at $85 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Time for your latest Eyewitness News. What you have, Sfiso Zulu. Good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The Electoral Commission has put together a code of conduct targeting disinformation and the use of artificial intelligence for the November local government elections. The Commission says this will also compel political parties to clearly indicate if they've used of synthetic tools like an AI or AI in their election content. The IEC says this is meant to protect the information integrity of the polls going into the future. Babalondenze has more.
The Commission's Chief Electoral Officer, Saima Mabolo, says they've increased their capacity to deal with the social media space in time for the November polls. He says the proposed code of conduct for disinformation has now been put out for public comment.
And that code of conduct on disinformation seeks to achieve a number of things. Firstly, is to place obligations on participating parties and their candidates to identify instances of disinformation.
He says AI also forms part of the code.
We also place an obligation on political parties where they use synthetic content created through AI to white label such content.
Mamabolo says this year's election will break a few records, with the highest number of candidates at 91,000 who will contest for more than 10,000 seats in municipal councils. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The South African Human Rights Commission has released a report highlighting serious wastewater infrastructure failures and pollution in parts of the Eastern Cape. The Commission says the findings expose severe contamination at several sites, with West Bank in Gukompo recording extremely high E. coli levels and near total oxygen depletion. The Buffalo City Municipality has been ordered to submit a 14-day plan, while Kucha and Nelson Mandela Bay have been directed to improve wastewater treatment, monitoring and public health communication. The Commission spokesperson, Wisani Baloyi.
The Commission finds that wastewater pollution implicates the right to dignity and to an environment that is not harmful to health or well-being. The report does not declare every affected beach permanently unsafe, but confirms that water quality may deteriorate rapidly and requires regular testing, prompt public warnings and effective investigation of pollution sources.
The Southern African Development Community says including the Angolan Kwanza to its real-time gross settlement system is a step towards making more currencies viable for cross-border payments. SADC announced yesterday that it's moving beyond a rand-only regional payment system. It's tipped that Botswana and Mozambique are next in line to join the system. Anelita Fandese takes a look.
The introduction of the Angolan Kwanza into the SADC real-time gross settlement system is also expected to encourage greater use of local currencies in trade between SADC member states, reducing dependence on a single regional currency. The South African Reserve Bank says the transition to a multi-currency payment system will continue, with additional regional currencies, including the Botswana Pula, expected to be introduced in future. The long-term goal is to strengthen financial integration across the region and make cross-border trade simpler, faster and more cost-effective. Since the system was launched in 2013, transactions between the 15 participating countries have been settled exclusively in South African rand. Anelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And Chad is the latest country to announce plans to withdraw from the International Criminal Court. It says the tribunal's effectiveness is limited and uneven, and its activities are focused on Africa. The move follows pressure from the US, which earlier this month announced a campaign against the ICC, threatening more sanctions and accusing it of posing an intolerable threat to US sovereignty. This month, Venezuela and the military juntas in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger also started the process of leaving the ICC, based in The Hague, which prosecutes individuals for war crimes and crimes against humanity. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 19 and 22 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South. This is just as you approach Winnie Mandela Drive due to an accident on the opposite side of this route, the N1 North, right near Winnie Mandela Drive. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic reported on the Mike 1 North between Glenhove Road and Grayston Drive.
The top story this hour: the IEC has put together a code of conduct targeting disinformation and the use of AI for the November elections.
Imagine if you could save time like you save money. A second here, a minute there. Type a little faster, walk a little faster. Or you could stop scrolling on the internet. Just think of all the hours you'll save. Now what if you could take all that time and invest it? Watch it grow. Until eventually, one day, you'd have so much time that you wouldn't know what to do with it all. But unfortunately, time doesn't work like that. It can't be stored or banked. And unlike money, you can't make it back. That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do whatever you want to do, even if it is scrolling on the internet. Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
What happens if an attorney steals money you've entrusted to them, and who protects you? Well, find out on Aubrey Masango's law feature, where Dr. Mutlatsi Mulife, the CEO of the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund, will join 702 to unpack the fund's role, who protects it, when you claim, and why every South African should know about it. Don't miss this informative conversation this Tuesday on the Aubrey Masango Show from 8 p.m.
Your office is more than just a place to work. It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way, from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Kabazela, when I moved out, I think I was about 21, 22. You must have a fridge. You must have a bed. That's all. Okay, you can also have a TV, but it was not a priority for me then. But yeah, for me it was a fridge and a bed. That's what I got first day when I moved out. and it was so lonely.
Morning, guys. Lovely show. So when I got married and I moved in with my husband, he had everything. He had absolutely everything and 2 and 3 sets of everything. So I was very lucky in that sense. But I think, when you starting your home with somebody, you also want things that you choose that makes it feel like yours. So I think having everything also takes away a little bit from being able to choose what you want, and you kind of just end up making do with what you have.
We're talking with Kabazela about the first time you lived on your own. What were the things you prioritized? And if you're at that age, or nearing that age, what are you telling your kids to get first?
EWN Sport.
Or are you that parent who gets them everything? Cindy Paluta, ever lived on your own? Do you remember what that was like?
Nope, I never lived on my own. So at the age of about 21, 22, I wanted to move out. And my mom was like, why do you want to move out? What have we done to you? What's so horrible about home? And I was like, oh, geez. So I stayed. And actually, it's better because you save a lot of money and you have a lot of nice creature comforts. And there's a very short period in your life where you can have somebody look after you. And then I moved out when I got married. And there were two things. So the one was because our house was the main house where everybody used to come, uncles, aunts, cousins. It suddenly became so lonely by myself. I used to find the days so lonely because in our house, there were always people around. There were grannies, there were helpers, there was always somebody in and out. And then you suddenly by yourself. But my one condition for when we got married, obviously we got some money for our wedding and stuff. And my husband was like, what should we buy? And I said, the first thing we are buying is a dishwasher.
Why was that?
Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, somebody, aka me, will sit there every night at the sink washing the dishes while you're on the couch watching TV. And yes, you can both get involved, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But inevitably over time, certain jobs become certain people's.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am not doing dishes. I am not spending my time.
Do you
doing
still have
dishes.
the same dishwasher?
No, but it did last. It lasted about 15, 16 years. It lasted a very long time. We've still got our original fridge.
Wow.
Still got our original
Those white
fridge.
ones, hey?
No, it was silver.
Oh,
It
was it
was
silver
20
already?
years ago.
Okay.
Crazy. And so we've been through, I think, 1 or 2 washing machines.
We can see how clearly you use those. All right, let's talk Commonwealth Games. What happens next?
Well, we've still got our original toaster.
I'm trying to think in my head, what is the appliance I've had the longest? I'm trying to think. The appliance I've had the longest. It'll come to me. Let's talk about the Commonwealth Games in the meantime.
Commonwealth Games tonight. The highly anticipated men's 100-meter final will be at 10:14 tonight. I can't even say around 10:15 because it's one of those 10 seconds you miss it, you're going to be cross with me. So 10:14 is the schedule. First, though, contenders Bradley Nkwana, Gift Loatlela and Cheswell Johnson have to get through the semi-finals at 8 p.m. In netball, the Spa Proteas are going for their third straight win. They take on Northern Ireland starting at 10-3 this afternoon. And in the pool tonight, Olivia Null swimming in the 50-meter backstroke final. Last night in the pool, our swimmers won 2 more medals. Erin Gallagher took bronze in the 100-meter butterfly. Michael Hooley silver in the 50-meter breaststroke. Hooley was disappointed to miss out on gold by 0.017 seconds, but admits it bodes well for the 2028 Olympic Games.
No, of course, like I said, it's like I got to be grateful and just trust in what God's doing right now, and how He's using this, but, we keep moving forward. So using this competition as a stepping stone towards that, getting the feedback. See today, it's not what I would have wanted, but it's what I got.
Not a great start to AFCON for Banyana, who lost to Tanzania 2-1. Though Banyana had more possession, Tanzania capitalised on the attempts they had, scoring on either side of Mbana's first half header. Banyana will play Ivory Coast on Friday night. Last night, Ivory Coast beat Burkina Faso 4-1. Orlando Pirates' Relebogile Mofokeng dominated the PSL Awards last night, named Best Footballer, Players Player and Young Player of the Season, with Abdeslam Wadu named Coach of the Season. Seppo Chane was Best Goalkeeper, Lebone Sema Best Defender, and Osman Apollos Best Midfielder. And in Test cricket, the West Indies, 7 wickets down on day 3. They lead Pakistan by 155 in the first Test. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car, and some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals for people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Some of the biggest advances in health are happening right here in South Africa. Local researchers are studying and promising a new TB vaccine candidate called M72. It's one that could help people stop people from getting seriously ill, and programs like Coach Mpilo are helping men living with HIV overcome stigma, start treatment, and importantly, to stay on it. It's South African science, innovation, and community leadership helping shape the future of global health, and it's supported by the Gates Foundation over the last 25 years, partners of human potential.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
EWN Traffic.
It's 8:45. Let's have a final look at the roads and breakfast, Amo.
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the Maikwa North. This is between the Kilani Bends and Greyston Drive off-ramp. In Melrose, we've got an accident reported right along Jan Smuts Avenue. It's near, Oxford Road, right after Corlett Drive, causing delays. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 South. That earlier accident is still there, right near the Glulies interchange. Delays from Linksfield Road. I'll have more updates at the top of the hour. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
This past Sunday, tens of thousands showed up to walk with the people, for our Joes. It was absolutely beautiful, was it not? Thank you for taking the scenic route with us, creating unforgettable memories, showing the world that Joburg is more than just a city. It's a remarkable energy that connects us all. So here's to Joburg, here's to all of us. Here's to 702 Josie My Josie, Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg.
That's Amanda, before she got naked. When the power tripped, Amanda felt more helpless than when her mom-in-law called her lasagna different. So Amanda got naked. She got car and home insurance at a lower premium and can now call an electrician anytime via the Naked app. There we go. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. Did you know the total number of Powerball winners in June are 4,001,000? Listen carefully. 4,152,822, and the total prize money won is over 530 million rand. So play Powerball and catch live draws on Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
13 to 9, between 9 and 12, of course, is the Clement Manyatela Show. Clement is in the studio to tell us what is going to be happening today. And I imagine at some point we'll be listening to a little bit more of Andrea Johnson.
No, we're not taking live.
With Dad
it's
now.
too much. Like,
right?
She's resigned and she needs to go as soon as possible.
But I mean, all of that notwithstanding, just every day you just think,
yeah,
what? How could it have been that bad?
It just gets worse and worse.
And there's still no sense of real contrition or real regret or being sorry about any of it.
True. So what we're going to do on the open line today is
look at the decision that the head of the NPA has taken to provisionally withdraw the charges against the fraud and corruption charges against Mukwele, Dumisani Kumalo, and other crime intelligence officers. Mukwele's lawyers are now rejecting this provisional withdrawal by the NDPP. So the lawyer of Mukwele is going to join me on the open line this morning, just as we start the show, together with the spokesperson of the NPA, Kaiser Khanyago. And then what we'll do also on the open line is continue the conversation we started yesterday about the PIC. We were explaining the deal. We're taking it bit by bit. Today we're going to explain now the monies that then leave the PIC to go to this director of Acapulco, the BE company at Lanseria Airport. Why did the money not get into the BEE Partners company, but into one of the directors' companies? So who can even account for it? And the PIC needs to be able to tell us who they sent the money to, because it's not in Acapulco's account. It's not. But its agreement says we paid over 400 million rand to Acapulco. So we'll continue the second installment of our explanation on the PIC story. But at 10 o'clock, we do our monthly feature, Exploring Spirituality with Vusumzi Ngande. And today we're going to be having a conversation about surnames. And then at 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. We're looking at the pros and cons of using workplace wellness offerings. So if you're using a therapist from work, is that advisable or not? Could the company use that against you one day? That's what we're going to discuss at 11.
Clement Manyatela on your radio between 9 and 12.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Thinking about studying, but waiting for the right time? With Richfield's online qualifications designed to fit around your life, the right time is now. But you better hurry, because the mid-year applications will close soon. So whether you're working, changing careers, ready to level up, you can choose degrees and diplomas in business, IT, as well as a prestigious online MBA. Plus, you can study online from anywhere. Applications will close soon, so apply today at richfield.ac.za. Richfield, your future enriched.
Smart business moves save money. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Stephen from the Villa Rosa.
I was with my previous insurer for 8 years and then I switched to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with the premiums and switching was the best decision we ever made.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Let's talk ballet, because often when people think of elite sport, for example, what do they picture? Split-second sprints, impossible goals, gravity-defying gymnastics. But there is another discipline that demands just as much athleticism, precision, and mental toughness. It is, of course, ballet, because behind every effortless leap, every graceful pirouette, every standing ovation lies years of relentless training, physical endurance, and extraordinary discipline. This week, South African audiences will get a rare opportunity to witness some of the world's finest ballet talent without leaving our shores. The International Winter Ballet Gala brings together principal dancers from the legendary Bolshoi Ballet, acclaimed Cuban guest artists, South African stars performing on the world's biggest stages, and the country's next generation of ballet talent, all sharing one stage for one day only. I'm pleased to tell you, as always, we've got Dirk Badenhorst, who is, of course, the CEO and director of Mzansi Ballet and the South African International Ballet Competition. Dirk, always a pleasure to chat to you. This is going to be something special, isn't it not?
It is indeed going to be a fantastic once-off event where we have brought together some of the most amazing dancers from the world to South Africa. They are all going to be in Pretoria on the 31st of July at 3 o'clock and at 7 o'clock, performing some of the most loved classical pas de deux. We are doing with our own prima ballerina Angela Reevy and Cuban superstar Ariel Mejica, the Walpurgis Nacht, pas de deux. We have the Bolshoi dancers doing Swan Lake and pas de deux from Le Corsaire. The Cubans are doing Don Quixote and Dine and Action. And then from our own school, we have two of our young dancers doing the Flames of Paris pas de deux. And then from the World Ballet School, Nico Prince, is dancing with gold medalist from the South African International Ballet Competition, Michaela van Heerden, the Awakening of Flora. And then we have Mzansi ballet dancers and dancers from Kelecha and dancers from other of the country's big ballet centers performing in the gala as well. So really a fantastic coming together of South African and international talent. And it's, so often I loved your introduction about the athleticism and the muscularity of the dancers and the showing off of their absolute skill in this particular gala. That is exactly what we will be doing. You have to be magnificent at the art to be able to be performing in this gala.
Yeah, I mean, you will know this. Ballet dancers, I would say, are elite athletes wrapped in artistry, right? They push the limits of what the human body can achieve, but all the while making it look effortless. Now, how do you curate the program that features so many classics? You've mentioned Swan Lake, Don Quixote. How did you come about, making sure you get a little bit of everything in a sense?
I think this comes with 30 years of being in the industry and knowing what the audience is like to a great extent, but also then trying to bring something new and something fresh that they are not used to, like Purgis Nacht pas de deux, like the pieces called Echoes, Voices, all new pieces that we had created for what we took to Switzerland last year when Mzansi Ballet traveled to Switzerland to go and perform there, so that we give variety. I always want people to at least know one or two of the pieces and then enjoy more than those pieces, because it's also, sometimes people say, oh, it's too long an evening of just one leg. Well, it's Swan Lake and it's Corsair and it. And so that is really what we are trying to do. The music is exquisite. All the, whether it's Minkus, whether it's Tchaikovsky, whether it's Beethoven, we've got all of the big classics with us in from a music perspective. So it really is a journey to bring together these amazing pieces. And it's also wonderful to work with the teachers and directors of the different schools and companies to also see what are their strengths, to ensure that I showcase what they feel magnificent and fantastic dancing. That is really what we try to achieve with this particular gala. And I'm sure the audiences are absolutely going to be enthralled by what they see on stage.
I think one of the important things about collaborations like this with artists and dancers from different parts of the world is what it means for our local talent. I'm thinking now of Nico Prinsloo, for example, who trained with Mzansi Ballet, is now studying at the Royal Ballet School in London. I mean, that kind of thing is important when young South African dancers see international performers, but also being able to see that they too can dance on those stages.
You put it so well, because that really is so important. How do we keep kids on the southern tip of Africa inspired to keep on doing, keep on working? It's hours and hours. We had rehearsed this past weekend on Saturday and Sunday to ensure that we will be ready on Friday. But it's the fact that they will be exposed to these incredible dancers that just keep them going. They are also then next week traveling to Cape Town. They will then compete in the international ballet competition to that
Oh, Dirk, our line is cutting there. I'm not sure if everything's okay on your end. I'm hearing some noise in the background, but the line is cutting. But I think we've got the more or less the gist of it. Our line has been cutting there for a little while. Dirk Badenhorst, of course, is the CEO and director of the Mzansi Ballet, also the South African International Ballet Competition. If you want tickets, this is happening on Friday, the 31st of July, and it's the International Winter Ballet Gala. You can also go to www.tixsa.co.za. So www.tixsa.co.za to get your tickets.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Good morning, Bongs and the team. 702 and Bongs. When I was in Zambia, a colleague of mine invited me to his house, and they served pap, they call it in Shima, fish gravy, and some relish. There's this vegetable side made from okra, but I don't know what they add in this veggie to make it slimy, thick, and sticky. So as you scoop it with your fingers, it kind of dances all the way through your mouth. But I was kind enough to tell them that, listen, I thank you. I would like to try this side dish sometime, just not today. For now, I'll stick to what's served on the plate. So yeah, I've been there. Joel from Kempton Park. Have a splendid Tuesday.
Yeah, I think we'll let you have the last word, Joel, from Kempton Park. We were speaking earlier about dishes that are unfamiliar, that have been presented to you, and you just didn't want to have them. How do you say no politely, or do you just grin and bear it? That's where we'll leave it for this edition of 702 Breakfast. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow, my friends. Until then, ma zenethol.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Outgoing IDEC head about her role there are far from over. She told the commission yesterday that she knows nothing about an investigator who is accused of fabricating a witness's statement. Dylan Perumal was accused by his colleagues for forging the signature of the witness and fabricating the statement. Tabiso Koba has more.
On the 6th of January last year, 3 IDEC officials travelled to Cape Town to obtain supplementary statements from National Coloured Congress Member of Parliament Fadil Adams.